National League final live from Leeds on Gridiron TV. Not long to go now until kickoff.
As the crowd gets up for it now, we're starting to hear them down below us. We're waiting for Colchester now. Gateshead will be coming in to the other side, but I believe it's Colchester to come out first.
Yes, indeed. So we'll see these Gladiators, see how they emerge.
From Gateshead, the Gateshead Senators.
We'll start off by...
The Gateshead Senators are coming out first. We were told otherwise. But going from down to the right of us.
Calm and confident as they walk out onto this field.
They look focused, they look ready for a game of football, don't they?
Indeed, certainly do.
Look at the crowd now.
There's Lee Fraser at the front leading them out. It's really a fantastic way to finish off your career, getting to the national championship and getting your team back to a national championship, which we were at previously.
Exactly, that's what you want. Every season you want to get the championship game, but it's going to be extra special for him today. And he's got to live up to that pressure, because the pressure's on him. He's a starting quarterback, and it's his last game ever, possibly.
Indeed. So, Stuart, do you have any score predictions for today?
Oh, it's difficult. I haven't seen much of Colchester, to be fair. Gateshead, I'll represent the north. I'm from the north. I'm going to go with them by a field goal. Let's say 30-27.
Well, I'll give mine in a minute after we see the Colchester Gladiators enter.
And one of the top defences in the country is coming, the Colchester Gladiators! Here they come.
Led out by Curtis Bork, I believe.
Absolutely, again looking very similar. Taking their time, walking out confidently.
And here they come. Alan's dancing alongside me to this music. I see pom-poms down there, big support right down in front of us. Colchester on this sideline as well. We'll have the crowd right behind them the whole game.
They will, that's a big advantage for them. They've come with a very big squad anyway, so they've got a lot of guys playing today, which is really going to help them, and the ability to swap in and out players second, third string depth is probably what's going to make a difference if this turned out to be a very physical game. I think that it's going to be a big clash of two very different cultures in terms of a run heavy but still ability to pass on Gateshead side, and Colchester are kind of the opposite, are probably looking to go through the air more. So I would think it's very close. I would say though the Gladiators probably will take this, depending on the first quarter, depending on who can establish control within the first 10 minutes will probably make the big difference towards the end.
Ready to kick off here for the Senators.
So here we go, live coverage of the National League Championship is underway. Short kick there. One hand off now, second hand off. And dragged down inside his own 40 where the Colchester Gladiators will take over.
An interesting attempt with the catch from the front line, pitched back to the wedge and then handed off to the return man. But when you look at it, where the front line caught the ball and where the ball actually ended up was about the same thing. So you kind of wonder in that situation, if the front line are comfortable catching the ball, why not just drop the shoulder and trundle for a few yards and try and get up to halfway?
Indeed.
So they're on the, looks like the bench.
So first down 10 for the Gladiators.
First down Gladiators.
The Gladiators start a 4-wide set and they've motioned into what they call King Right with the offset fullback to the right hand side. And that's
pitches it.
that's a lovely play. That's a lovely play. The interesting thing you'll find as we watch today's game is that the Colchester Gladiators offence is very similar in appearance, certainly, to what the London Blitz do. So they start in a 4-wide set with both the slots off the line. They motion the slot on the left to a full-back on the right-hand side, and then they run a fake zone left with a speed option to the right, which is another play straight out of the Blitz playbook.
So this time they come out and trips left, and again they option it.
Quarterback keeper, nice job, picks up about 8 yards.
So it looks like we're going to see a lot of misdirection, a lot of option play today, trying to keep Gateshead on the back foot.
Definitely. The thing with option football is a lot of people are kind of wary about running it and stuff because it's seen as being something that's a little bit fancy and a little bit tricky. But in essence, it's very, very simple stuff. You isolate a defender, you give him 2 options, and you make him wrong every time. But the thing that's difficult about it is getting the opportunity to make sure that you get the reps in practice to be sharp.
Well, trying to hand that one off outside to the running back, but he's stuffed at the line, so he's short of the first down there. But only
they've
by
given forward progress there by the looks of things, up to just shy of the first. Have they given them a first down? They've certainly given them forward progress that will take him close.
Number 1, Matt Pardo, outside linebacker with the tackle for the Senators. You might recognise this offence from watching the NFL.
Well, it's going to be 3rd down and half a millimetre by the looks of it.
Quarterback still in pistol, trips left here from the right hash mark. There we go, speed option left. Got the first down and a little bit more. So for the first few plays, they certainly seem to look crisp enough, comfortable enough. They've been stopped once, but in general, they've moved the chains with relative ease early doors.
Yes, they've been running the option play, and it's worked a treat so far. And they just got to keep doing it, keep pushing down the field, keep running it. If it's working, don't change it.
Absolutely, and I'm a big believer in that when I'm calling the offense, is that if they can't stop you doing it, keep doing it. You'll notice the slots are a long way off the line, about 3 yards.
Yep. Bork dropping to pass now, rolling to his right now, trying to drop it to the running back. A little bit too much on that, too excited perhaps.
Yeah, a little bit. And early doors, I think that's another thing for quarterbacks is every play so far, they've got a few pitches, but every play has been a run play, so it'll be important for the quarterback to get a couple of short completions under his belt and just try and get his confidence there.
Takes the high snap. Another option, keeps himself now. Bork trying to break it around to the outside.
It's almost like a triple option via right play there, where they run the back from pistol straight downhill, just inside that defensive end on the right hand side, and he's the option man. So they leave him unblocked, and they read if he turns his hips and charges down the line to make the tackle, the quarterback pulls, and then he's got the pitch man on the overlap if he needs him. But again, they're close to a first down, and they're inside the 30-yard line.
So the fake to the running back was number 44, Casey Campbell there. I'm sure we'll see more of him here. It looks like Bork's been taking the bulk of the carries himself, but at some point they're going to try and pass more on to him, see what he can do. So 3rd down and short again, option left. And it is Campbell.
And is he going to... he's picked up short there. He's picked
up
short
for Casey Campbell there.
So Matt Kidd there making a lot of work for himself early on. He's a player with GB calibre, and he's somebody that they've certainly lent on heavily. And when I spoke to Coach Marshall this morning, Matt Kidd's somebody that he said that is one of the real stars on defence and has done a great job for them this year. So I think he's earned his money early doors.
4th and 1 here. And that's just a straight run up the middle. Oh, that's a good tackle. He's got it.
Great tackle. 4th down turnover. Well, from a pretty lofty start from the first maybe 5 or 6 plays from Colchester, where they looked like they were going to move the ball downfield with ease, Gateshead have tightened that up pretty quickly, and that's a great job.
It was quite a conservative start. I was fully expecting to see at least one long pass on this first drive from the Gladiators, but he kept it on the ground, kept on the option, trying to read how Gateshead would play it, and they played it very well. And they've just got the turnover, so now we see Fraser and his offense come out, and let's see what they do.
It's all about in-play adjustments, because they were going down the field with that option again and again. Gateshead have seen what they're doing and stopped it there.
That's it. It's
Hayward in the backfield for the Senators.
Gateshead and trips right. Colchester and their 3-4 were both outside backers down the line.
It's going to be a pass to start with.
Bringing pressure from the right hand side. He's overcooked that by quite a long way.
Like if it got close, there was a little push off there as well from wide receiver.
There was. I think there was a bit of miscommunication though, because the receiver seemed to pull his route up about 7 yards short. So I don't know if they maybe not on the right page.
A little bit of first play nerves, perhaps, just not on the same page. But minus 2nd and 10 for them.
Yeah. So Lee Fraser there at quarterback, he's an interesting player. He was due to retire this year. Him and another long-time senator, rapper John Lockhart, as he's known, and both of them were basically convinced to stay out of retirement to try and avoid sort of the inevitable decline of the Senators, which looked like it was going to happen this year. And
the fumble snap.
Turned it over.
And it's recovered by Colchester.
They were running a toss right there, and the ball was never was thrown a little bit in front of the running back, and it's on the ground, and Colchester recover on the 28.
So nightmare start for the Senators there. Let's see what Colchester can do now. Inside the Senators 30, down to their 28-yard line. So short field to work with. So there we go, Bork in shotgun. Takes a snap and it's another.
Again, that triple option right, pitched out wide. Number 25's got speed to spare. Picks up about 6 yards on the carry. Nice job.
That was good coverage on D, though. He was straight onto the running back.
He was. That's the first time we've seen real speed on the Colchester offense. That was one of the things I noted in the first drive, is they ran the ball quite well, but they didn't look to have anybody with breakaway speed. But that's a nice little burst of pace from number 25 there.
So 2nd down and about 4 to go. Option once more, and this one goes outside to Campbell.
Good blocking from number 20, that's nice work.
And he's dragged down close to the first down line here.
Gateshead managed to push him to the sideline, and a lot of the runs have started to go to the sideline, and that's good play by the defence. Don't get them put aside and get the yards.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're able to string the offense out wide and cause them to be running lateral, it tires them out in the same way as when they stretch you, it tires you out. So. But nice, that was a nice job there from the slot receiver on the left, number 20, getting his hands dirty. It's good to see receivers who can block and who can sort of help the offense extend plays.
And it's a first down, so first down with about 17 yards to go at the end zone.
1st and 10 on the 17-yard line. Trips right from Colchester, from the left hash.
Bork in the pistol. Looking right, it's
roll out right.
20 is open there.
Drops the. Nice idea there. He was looking to drop the ball just over into that soft zone there to number 20, but unfortunately he just overcooked it a little bit.
Chris Palmer just had too much on it. Trying to find Chris Palmer, but he was open then. You can see the routes are running. That's the second pass actually. They threw an incomplete earlier on, but they'll be wanting to connect those and start moving through the air, so they're not just one-dimensional.
Yeah, and the challenge they have now is that the first time they're really going to be trying to push the pass game, they're inside the red zone, which means you've got a lot less space to work with. Whereas when you're coming from your own half, as they were after the kickoff, you've got a lot more opportunity there. So motion to that.
Or hands it off.
Queen left
to Campbell.
That's a great bit of running.
4 yards there, straight up the middle. That's good power running. Power football by Casey Campbell.
Nice job, Casey Campbell.
So it'll be 3rd and 6.
A lot of these plays that have the inside option, they've typically pulled because Gateshead have shut them down. But that's the first time we've really seen Casey Campbell running straight downhill. So nice job from him. Trips right again.
Bork is looking to his right. He's in the pistol, and they're going for a pass again to the right.
Right.
Tries to find.
That time's a bit more effective, and it's a great bit of coverage.
That was a cracking tackle by Chris Barr there.
Chris Barr is one of the players this year that they pushed up from junior. So before the season, when they were struggling for players, quite a number of the Gladiators guys had moved to DC Presidents. They pushed up a lot of their junior players because they didn't have enough players to field the team, and it's been a great result for them.
So they're going for it on 4th and 6. It's another pass to the right. No, it's a
handoff.
To Campbell.
That's awesome.
Campbell's got to run to the right. That's a great.
First down at the 5-yard line.
That is a cracking tackle.
Great misdirection play. They ran a counter there, looked like a roll out to the right from Trips right, and then a handoff back inside to number 44. Great running.
Thompson saving the touchdown there for the Senators. but that was a great misdirection. They've been running the same play at the right all day. It looked like it was going to pass, and they cut back with Campbell.
And because they had that trips right set, you cause the defence to overcommit to that side when you start to roll out there, and it leaves a lot of space when you're cut back to the left.
And it's another
That's
hand
a
off
lead
to Campbell.
left, cuts outside, that's a great job.
That's
and he must be down at about the
defense.
2-yard line. He made a lovely little jump cut to the right there, that's great agility.
And that is Matt Pardo on the tackle at the goal line. It'll be second down and second and goal from the 1. So it's been a good drive so far by the Gladiators. They'll be looking to finish it off.
Motion the left slot to full back on the right again, and another lead play straight
Campbell.
downhill.
Campbell's
Walks in untouched. So Colchester Gladiators draw first blood. Nice job there.
Casey Campbell with a touchdown. And you can see they're adapting. Early on they were doing the option to the right. They've been doing some passes, but they're running up the middle now and they're getting some success now.
Absolutely. What I was thinking on the first drive, they were getting the ball out wide quite a lot, either pulling it and running with the quarterback or that pull and pitch on the triple option, but this time they went for a far more downhill approach. They motioned the slot into fullback there, and he led the running back straight to the end zone, so nice job. And he got in absolutely untouched as well, so nice job from the offensive line.
Point after.
Crisp.
And it's good.
There you go. 7-0.
7-0. And that's not what Gateshead wanted. They've only run 2 offensive plays so far in the first quarter, and one of them was a fumble. And it's a championship game. That's what you've got to avoid in this type of game.
Absolutely. It's been a bit of a slow start for them, but equally, we haven't seen what they're able to do because of that. The fumble on that toss right play, we've not really had an opportunity to see what they're capable of yet. So this is their chance now. They'll get the ball from the kick-off, and we'll see what they're able to do with it.
Yes, it's Gladiators kicking off now to the Senators.
It's a beautiful day here in Leeds as well, though, for those who are living nearby, maybe watching this and considering heading across for either the rest of this game or the Premier game afterwards. I definitely recommend you do so. It's a beautiful day here, and it's a lovely view from up in the top tier of the stand at the John Charles Centre for Sport. So if you do get a chance to come down and support these 2 teams or the 2 London teams playing the final, please make sure and do so.
And if you can't make it, of course, we've got live coverage on Gridiron TV. Get in touch on Twitter. Email us at info@gridirontv.co.uk, and we'll read out your messages later on. But
definitely.
For this.
And of course, if you're watching from somewhere exciting that's far, far away, be sure to let us know. It's lovely to hear from people across the world. And I remember at the finals last year, when I was drafted in as a guest commentator after about 75 pints, I remember there being guys in, how many continents did we have watching last year?
I think we had people on every single continent on the planet.
I think we did, yeah. It was
amazing.
It's great to see and great for the sport in this country.
That's a decent return there to the 38-yard line. And that was Campbell kicking off as well. So you're running a field goal, will make a kick off. Running the touchdown, will make a kick off now.
So that's the beauty of British American football, is you get these guys who will do it all. They'll and we'll see a bit more of that tonight with the Blitz and the Warriors, where guys playing a bit of special teams, a bit of offense and defense. It's good.
That's a great thing about the sport in the UK, isn't it? You get players who you can fit in anywhere. Everyone
Absolutely.
knows every position.
That's it, and it's important for you to have that when you have the depth. I mean, these squads are both relatively big when you look on the sideline, but it only takes a few injuries in key positions before you struggle.
And there was a hand up the middle there to Spencer Hind.
So welcome back, everybody. Apologies if you had any slight interruptions in the play there. We had a little problem on the server side of things, so something up in the clouds, up beyond our control here in the stadium, but we hope you're back here in the stadium now. I hope you're enjoying the coverage.
It is 7-0 the Gladiators. If you missed the touchdown, it was Casey Campbell from a yard out. Field goal was good, so it's 7-0. And now with Gateshead with trips right. Fraser looking
the
to
hand
throw
off
right.
there. They ran almost a quick streak to that inside receiver on the right, faked the handoff to the left, but unfortunately threw just a little bit in front. So the score at the moment is Colchester 7, Gateshead Senators 0, but we're still inside the first quarter. A lot of football yet to be played.
Colchester have done a good job on defence. It's now 3rd and 10.
It's been a good start from this Colchester defence. Turned the ball over the first drive, and right now if they can hold them once more, they're looking at a 3 and out, which is as much as you can ask for your defence.
It is Lee Fraser, flanked to the left by Spencer Hind.
Is it just me, or is Lee Fraser looking a little bit more svelte than he has done in the past?
He is a bit. That's a
Nice
good
throw. There you go. Picked up the first down. Just like
That is
that.
a cracking throw to Gavin Barr this time.
There you go. Gavin Barr picks up the ball at the 49-yard, 11-yard gain. Nice job.
And that was a cracking throw. Had time in the pocket there. Good work by the offensive line. I just threw it over the middle to number 47. Great catch.
Absolutely, and he's not the most athletic quarterback, as I hinted at before, in terms of, you know, the ability to run things like the option that Colchester have, but he's got a fantastic arm on him, you know, and a lot of composure in the pocket. We played against him a lot of times, and you see him taking big hits, getting up, dusting himself off, and getting back on with it. So nice job, Lee Fraser.
And now they'll go back to work. They're at halfway. In fact, it was an incomplete pass, apparently.
Okay, so they're going to rule out an incomplete.
Obviously didn't maintain control of the ball right through the ground, which is disappointing, but well, that is a shame. That looked like a lovely pass too, but
It looked like a lovely play altogether. Now they're going to have to punt it away to Colchester, who have been moving the ball at will, apart from one little series in the first bit, but now they've been looking like they're getting downfield with the run game, and it's Casey Campbell going back for the punt return.
Casey Do-It-All Campbell going back to about the 25-yard line, looking for the return here, and he'll be looking to set up good field position. They moved the ball pretty comfortably from within inside the centre's half, and he'll be looking to get the ball back there again.
Of course, now you have a lot more space to work with on punt return, so let's see how he can use it here.
And I think that'll make a real difference to their pass game, which, as we've said, neither team's really established yet, so it's going to give them the opportunity to do that from a little bit further out, I would hope.
So Gateshead take a timeout there to avoid the penalty. In the meantime, you can always get in touch with us as before. As we said earlier, we do apologise for some server issues going on somewhere in the world that are affecting us, but we do hope it's all fixed for you now. Nonetheless, keep sending us in your messages on Facebook and on Twitter. Drop us an email as well if you're that way inclined. And we'll try and get a shout out for you later in the show. One thing we haven't mentioned so far in the show, gentlemen, that this game, along with the next game, also feature part of our Nuola MVP series. So we will be selecting our MVP for this game, and we will be listening to your votes as well at home for who you think has had the best game so far. And then we'll have a word with them, have an interview with them after the game, and they'll receive the 4th out of our 5 exclusive custom MVP jerseys. So a nice extra present to take away.
Absolutely.
And here comes the punt now.
Low snap is bobbled.
He's running
Turned over on the 15-yard line.
and that's a huge play. And Gateshead just haven't shown up yet. They haven't turned up.
And for a team as experienced as Gateshead are, you know, they're in their 25th year this year, for them to be making these errors just now when they've had a successful regular season and a fantastic playoffs is disappointing. I'm sure Gary Marshall will be regrouping the guys on the sideline just now and having some strong words, but from Colchester's point of view, they're 7 points ahead and they've got the ball on about the 16-yard line here, so they'll be smelling blood again.
7 came off a turnover last time. They'll be looking for another 7 now, and that puts Gateshead in a hole because we know they're a run-orientated offense, and they'll be in a 14-point hole in the first quarter.
There we go. King right.
It's Campbell.
And that's how
on a
lovely.
counter.
Oh, that was a nice play there. They pulled the backside tackle, I think, there, and he had a nice kick-out block, but unfortunately, for those of you who play offensive line, you'll have seen that and been frustrated before when you set up the block to the inside and the running back runs outside right into the arms of the guy you've just blocked. So it was to cut off that player's ass inside and could have picked up 2 or 3 yards.
Anthony Norton on the tackle there, and it'll be 2nd and 10.
But a good tackle from Norton, especially having been blocked though. Here we go, King right again from Colchester.
Option again with
running
Paul.
this like a lead option
Paul's
this time.
keep it.
Keeps
Paul's
it.
cut inside too.
Ooh, I think it was just short of the first down, but they're inside the 10-yard line here, so it's going to be about 3rd and 1, I would expect.
Again, Chris Barr on the tackle. He's had a lot to do early on, and he wouldn't have wanted that.
No, absolutely. It's been a pretty busy time for the safety coming down there, and for the backers having to make a lot of tackles.
And it'll be 3rd and 2 here from the 9. Hawking pistol, trips left. And it's an option to the right. He's going to throw it. It looks like no, he's going to keep it now. And that's
a
a
nice
cracking
stiff arm
tackle.
there. But a good tackle as well. Has he fallen for a first down, or will it be just short?
He reached out, but it looks like they're going to mark him back short, but he's still very close to the first down marker.
I wonder if they'll go with it with that fullback offset and just power the ball behind him.
Anthony Norton again with the open field tackle, and he's covering the blind side there. He's coming to the back side of the play because they've run a lot to the right so far.
They have indeed.
And he's got to be disciplined when the run comes back that way.
You're absolutely right. I think something I noticed that last play, we'll watch for it again, is the Colchester offensive line just manhandled the Gateshead D lineman.
And it's Bort.
Oh,
Here we go, it's the same play again.
Campbell's
back.
running. And he's down.
Just short.
So he's just short of the line.
I don't know what you think about that there, AP, but it looked to me like if he just gone straight downhill, his momentum at least would have carried the end zone, but he looked like he tried to make a last little cut outside and kind of hesitated, whereas if he just
too much finesse there, not enough brute force.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's a player who's, he seems to be a fairly physical guy, so I think if he just gone straight downhill there, he would have been looking at another 6 points.
Good saving tackle by Christian Addison on the 1 yard line.
Got a funny feeling we could be looking at a lead right here.
QB's got to run in.
QB keeper
himself, and he does put his head down.
Good job.
Not going to make it in.
Good job.
Another good standby.
It's going to be second and goal on the 1 yard line. A nice bit of defensive work there.
Alex Byrne breaking up the play in the backfield.
Yeah. For some reason there, they went with almost like a lead speed option there, where they sent the fullback out to take the first man outside the offensive line's blocks, and then followed it with the quarterback. Whereas if they'd just gone straight downhill, they might have a little bit more success.
Second and goal from the 1 now.
They're going Queen left.
And it's up to Casey Campbell. That's a good tackle.
Via right, and he falls out over the top of the tackle.
Just wait on confirmation here.
He seemed to fall in the end zone.
It looks like it, doesn't it? Hold on.
Not too sure.
They're talking about it.
Looked to be a bit of trouble with the handoff there.
They went for, if you watched there, they went for via right again with the fullback on the right hand side coming straight downhill inside the end.
Well, they've
marked down.
That's another great tackle. This Gateshead defense really showed up on short fields.
From a fundamentals point of view, they made some great tackles. There's absolutely no doubt about it.
So many times we've seen Colchester inches away from the first down and now from the touchdown. Gateshead not giving up yet. It's third down.
Under centre, QB sneak. That's got to be in, surely. No, have they stopped him?
Is the ball looks like it might be loose as well. Some scrambling going on.
Turnover.
He's marked short, looks like.
It could be Gateshead ball here. That's
short of the touchdown for sure.
Oh,
it's fourth down.
They go for...
The offense is coming on the field. It's a turnover.
Oh, it's a turnover.
That is great defensive play there.
Superb. Now I tell you something, from staring down the battle of a 14-point deficit, they've done a cracking job there to keep the Colchester Gladiators. And just look at the way the Colchester players are walking off the field now. It's not the story they were expecting.
This is it. They're not behind, but they're not as far ahead as they're expecting here. And this is possibly a bit of a shock to them. I think they fully expected to score on that drive.
Especially when that first and goal at the 1. They expected to get in, but that's great defense by Gateshead. But they're in a spot of bother now because the ball is literally just about touching the goal line.
What have they got now? This is a heavy set they've got to the right hand side. Nice job. That's good thinking there. That's great thinking.
Running.
They ran with a direct snap and 2 fullbacks offset to the right, and all they did was just powered straight behind them. So
that is Gavin Barr. We're mentioning the bars a lot today, and that was a great run from where they were. Now they're out towards the 10, second in inches, pretty much.
That's great work. The Gateshead Senators hold a camp every year, and Tim Murphy comes over, and they run a lot of this kind of unbalanced.
As Barr runs it again. Barr's got a chance to get the outside.
It looks like going to be a holding call. That's a great bit running up to about the 47-yard line, but I've got a feeling it's coming back for a holding call.
Whenever you see a flag around the offensive line, you always think
more
holding.
often than not, especially when it's thrown from behind like that.
Well, this is interesting, coming out with no quarterback, just running the ball out of Wildcat basically.
Definitely, yeah. They have. It's interesting. So when Tim Murphy comes over and does these camps, Gary Marshall was saying that some of the stuff they run on offense is quite similar to what we've seen this year from the Sheffield Predators, who had a really successful year, their first year in the Premier, and it's almost a kind of variation of the double wing stuff. So it's this unbalanced wing gun, and we're seeing a little bit of it now. I think they've probably got the more varied offense in terms of the formations and things you'll see on this game today. Colchester tend to be, quite strict with their 2x2 sets and their trip set, and then occasionally they'll go, 20 personnel and they'll bring that fullback in offset. But we're seeing quite a few. Here we go. This is the same formation they came out of the goal line from, and they ran a lead to the right.
This time it goes
That's a great job, tackle from behind there.
That is Darren Mould on the carry.
Number 54 there for the Colchester Gladiators did a cracking job.
Really impressive at reading it. That was Dave Walton coming around the backside of the plane, tracking it down.
Former Essex Blade as well, a bit of university connection. There's quite a lot of university connections in both teams here. I know that the Gateshead guys have, or they certainly had quite strong links with the old Newcastle Raiders programme, but with the former Newcastle Raiders head coach Ben Johnson moving to DC, that's one of the reasons why they saw, quite a few of their players leaving at the start of this year, guys who wanted to go back and work with the same coach they've been with at uni.
So again, third down.
Here we go. This is a lead right play. Nice job.
Nice tackle there.
Good job. Running them back to where they came from.
So they can get out there.
Yeah, they're in a better situation than they were when they started this drive, where they'd been punting out the back of their own end zone. So,
but it was the Will Davis hold that put them back. They'd have been down to the halfway just about.
Yeah, and Barr's got to be disappointed with that when he takes them just shy of the halfway line, and then it comes all the way back into their own 10-yard line. It's disappointing.
So it will be Darren Mould to punt once more.
And curiously, it doesn't look like they're going to punt unless it's
4th and 2.
4th and 2
at their own 10-yard line.
Or is it going to be a pooch punt? That's the question. Yeah, there you go. A little pooch punt over the top, which has the advantage that when the defence see that, they're less likely to put somebody back in coverage because they think that there's a chance it's going to get run. So they bring the defence closer to the line, gives you a little bit of space in behind. So even if you don't get quite such a long punt, there's far less worry about a decent return. So they've got the ball spotted now on the Gateshead 45-yard line. It's a chance for Colchester to regroup. They've had a little bit of time on the sideline with their coaches, and they'll get back out there and see what it's done. And of course, this game's got a slightly interesting subplot with one of the head coaches being the chairman of BAFA and the other head coach being the chairman of the British American Football Coaches Association. So I'm sure there's going to be a bit of competitive rival there between Matt Roberts and Gary Marshall.
It's Curtis Bork back out in the pistol. Looks like he's
roll
going to
out
throw right again.
Nice. That's
good coverage there. Cracking coverage downfield. Not much to do there.
I'll tell you something there, from having some pretty impressive runs early on, that was a pretty feeble attempt at pass pro there from number 44, who basically just let 49 run right past them. You got to square up to your man and wash him round the back of your quarterback there. Instead he just let him run right past.
There was nowhere to go with that ball, and the quarterback did the right thing to throw it out of bounds. And that's what you want to see in the quarterback in this situation. They might be tending to force throws because it's a championship game, but he decides to throw it out of bounds. Save it for another day.
Here we go. Trail motion, and this is going to give them the option that pitch. There we go. Low pitch, but nicely picked up. And that's 25 who's got that speed that we talked about earlier on, and they must have picked up 9 yards there, just shy of the
Chris
first down.
Jackson with the run.
I tell you, Chris Jackson's looked good so far. Now, if I was the offensive coordinator, knowing that Gateshead's a team that's got some good fundamentals, but they're not blessed with a massive amount of speed on that defence, he's somebody I'd be looking to bring in a little bit earlier on, because if you can catch them out with some speed early on, once they tire out, it's going to be easier for those slower, stronger, heavier guys.
Well, having as many different options as possible is always going to help them, and working through them one at a time is what I look at they're doing now. They're really sticking to the option here, and it is working for them still.
Trips left, roll out pass again, 44, got to square up on that guy. He's done the same thing again. Overcooked that. Nice job, number 20. Nice job, number 20.
That is Chris Palmer on the back end.
Obviously, if I was Chris Palmer's DB coach, I'd be saying if you can get one hand on it, you can get two hands on it. I'd be looking for a pick there, but that's just maybe a little bit ambitious. He did a great job. The coverage was tight and he got the bat down, which is what you're looking for.
But it's fourth and inches again, and we've seen Gateshead step up in situations like this, especially on the goal line.
Gateshead's defensive line got some work to do here. They're coming out of pistol. Last time they were in this situation, they went under centre and tried to power it over and failed, and this time they're going offset fullback to the right, so King right here.
Got to give it to Casey Campbell, surely. No,
and it is pitched outside.
And
again, Gateshead Senators defence. Well, I tell you, Gateshead Senators offence haven't looked like they've had much to offer so far, but their defence has been absolutely superb, especially those short yardage situations.
Christian Addison in there with a tackle, and those are, like, when you've got a yard to go, it's always difficult going out wide.
It is.
They need really to run up the middle. I would have given it straight up the middle to Campbell.
And earlier on, when we saw them in a similar situation, they had that offset fullback. You know, we talked about it at the time. We said, why not just run the lead right behind him? You've got an extra blocker there, outnumber them on the line, and just try and power the ball in behind them. They motioned to the same formation there. We call that king right, where you've got the fullback on the same side as the two receivers, and yet once again they ran that kind of lead option play where you have the fullback ahead of the quarterback and then the running back out to the right, and it's just they just don't seem to be having any success with that.
So here comes Fraser and the Senators again.
Very compact defence there.
Matching the
quick
formation
slant is on if they want to throw that. That's a handoff.
And there we go, right up the middle. And see, that's the kind of offensive prowess up the middle that Colchester have been lacking so far in the game. They've been decent going out wide, but they haven't had enough up the middle.
And that's Gavin Barr to carry. We haven't seen Harewood today. He mustn't be fit enough to play.
No, Gary did say that, you know, he'd be looking at seeing if he was fit to play. You know, he's certainly here today and he'll be kitted up, but at the moment we've just not seen much action from him.
As we talk about mixing up running backs, he could well feature heavily in the second half.
There is that, and if they manage to get in a situation where they're still within touching distance or even ahead, you know, to be able to bring in a player of his calibre, that could be part of the game plan. 4 down linemen for Colchester this time.
Another hand off the Bar.
Nice job, first down and more. Nice job. He's picked up about an extra 5 yards after the first down, so a 7 or 8 yard run there. Nice job.
He's filling in well. He's doing a great job at running back, and if you have that run early on, which was brought back for Hudden, he's had a great start.
Absolutely, and if you've noticed, the majority of the offence that Gateshead have picked up has been right up the middle in between the tackles, and so Colchester have made the decision in that last play certainly to move away from having 3 down linemen to 4, and it seems to still not be getting the job done.
So at the end of the first quarter, it's Colchester holding a 7-0 lead at the moment, so not a high scorer, but 7-0 at the moment.
So we've got an additional commentator just joined us in the booth. Neil Reynolds from Sky Sports has come along to do a little bit of work with us. So how are you, Neil?
I'm very good, thank you for having me. Sorry I'm a quarter late. I blame the M1, not me. But yeah, sat in the roadworks for a little while. But it's great to be here at John Charles Stadium. And some great defence early on from the Senators. They really
absolutely.
needed that.
We were talking about that as well. They've been a little bit light on offence, certainly in the first couple of drives, but they were solid on defence in short yardage situations. And here they start to be getting some work done. So it's good to see.
So here are the Senators, 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line. Lee Fraser from the pistol. Hand off to Gavin Barr. Goes around the right end, good yardage. Gavin Barr tripped up, gain of about 8 on the play.
Again, Senators making good yardage on the ground here, really mixing up against Colchester, and the way it's going, they're not really giving them much in terms of defence here, so I think they're going to stick with this all day.
Yeah, absolutely. They pulled their left guard there as well, give them a little extra meat on that play side as well as the fullback, and Gavin Barr's doing some great work, so nice job.
Yeah, it's a good early first quarter for Gavin Barr, some good runs out the backfield, and good defence from the Senators, keeping him in this game. It's 2nd down. Fraser again, operating out of the pistol. He takes the snap, hands off to Gavin Barr. It's 1st down yardage up the middle. Gateshead have a 1st down at the Colchester 25-yard line.
So they came out of 21 personnel that time. They had 2 running backs. They had a fullback just in front and offset from the quarterback, and then the tailback just behind the quarterback in pistol, and they had the tight end on the right-hand side. So again, we're talking about how we see a lot more variation in formations from the Gateshead offense than we've seen so far from Colchester. But typically what they're doing is just smashing the ball at the middle, and you know, if it works, then why not?
So 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. Fraser stays in that pistol formation. Gavin Barr in the backfield. It's Barr with the handoff, working his way over the left side, gain of about 4 before he's gang tackled at the 21-yard line.
That was a little bit more robust there from the Colchester defence, and I think they'll be looking to tighten that up a lot. But again, Gavin Barr's their go-to guy, and he's getting the job done. We've not seen much in the way of speed again. We talked about this at the start from Colchester until number 25 got more involved. We haven't seen too much speed from Gateshead, but they've been robust, to say the least.
So second down coming up for the Senators. Fraser again staying in that pistol formation. 2 in the backfield. Takes the snap. Pitches outside to the right. There's a flag on the play.
Flag down there, looks like it's a hold.
Spencer Hind with the carry. We'll take a look what the penalty is. Could be coming back. It's a holding penalty.
It was a nice block there from the offensive line on the right hand side, pulled around. And again, like we talked about in the first quarter, it's for young running backs who are watching this stuff, you've always got to be looking and reading those blocks. He set it up quite nicely, but then he tries to pass the offensive lineman. Instead of pass on the ass side like you're trained to do, passes in front of his hands and runs straight into the tackle, you know. And there's nothing more frustrating when you set that block up and your running back doesn't read it and follow it.
Exactly, and now they're heading back. We've only had a couple penalties so far. Today's a very clean game so far, which is good to see.
Must be a different refereeing crew from the one we had for our semi-final or quarter-final against the Bristol Aztecs, where we had 265 yards of penalties that day.
Out. So second in a bus ride coming up for the Senators. Fraser again out of that pistol formation. Takes the snap. Hands it under Gavin Barr from behind, and Barr is breaking up the middle. Gavin Barr taken down, but not before he picks up first down yardage. Nice play for the Senators to get that first down.
Outstanding run by Barr there, straight up the middle.
Gavin Barr, nice job. And I tell you, he had me fooled there as well. For a moment I forgot it was Lee Fraser at quarterback, and I thought he was running a speed option right. And then obviously I remembered that Lee Fraser is not the kind of guy you want to run a speed option play.
That would just be an option, right?
Yeah, it certainly would be. And they had a nice handoff inside, and great running by Barr again.
So 2 wide out split. Fraser out the pistol. Barr lined up as a wing back. The handoff to the right side goes to number 34, Spencer Hind, inside the 10-yard line.
And a good effort following his blocks and just squeezing through the block there to gain the extra few yards at the end.
Gavin Barr's impressed me so far, though. Who else has stood out for you, AP?
Well, he's been the main difference really, and he's really found his own today, and he's been the number one guy. I think Lee Fraser looks very controlled and very calm. He's obviously where he can run this offense very well. We've seen it with the play actions and the counters there. He can fool anyone with those.
Yeah, definitely. There's no doubt he's a composed guy in this quarterback position.
So big second down coming up for the Senators. They trail by 7. They're knocking on the door early in the second quarter. Fraser takes the snap. He's going to throw. He's looking downfield and he overthrows his man in the end zone. That's number 80, Darren Mould. Ball falls incomplete, brings up third down.
It's interesting there that I've seen a lot of it recently and talked about on Sky Sports and the NFL coverage. In those situations where you're in short yardage, you know, the defense has to make a decision whether they're going to cover the run or the pass when you're that close to the goal line, which is why play action can be so effective. There's a little flash there of the running back. The idea of that is you bring the defense down on top and create some space for receivers, but he just overthrew his receiver there, unfortunately.
Big third down for the Senators. Will they go to Gavin Barr? He's been the go-to guy early in this game for Gateshead. He's number 47 in the backfield. He gets the snap there. He's going to try the right side. Cuts back in. Good defense. He's down to the 4-yard line.
So again, more solid defense in this game. It's really been the talking point. Goal line stands, fourth down stands.
So Neil, you're the offensive coordinator, 4th and goal at the 4-yard line. Do you go for it?
I think you do go for it here. I think and I think you go with what got you there. And I think they maybe got a little bit too cute with the pass earlier as well. You know, you've got the guy with the hot hand in Gavin Barr. I think that's the guy you turn to as much as you can until they stop him anyway.
Absolutely, that's my thinking as well. You're in this situation because of the work he's done. Let's get it in his hands and let's see what we can do. And he's good at reading his blocks and making plays when he needs to. So
I did kick a bit in the British League, so I should really have called for a field goal, but I think they should go for it.
That's it, yeah. I mean, I think though that's one thing. It's funny, people talk about this a lot with, you know, especially Americans who come over and they look at the sport and they think, well, there's a lot of guys in this country who play rugby or who played rugby when they were younger. And I think the kicking game in the country is not where it could be. You know, I think it's a part of our game that's still underutilised and underdeveloped.
Well, for me, it was, I think the kicking part of it wasn't necessarily the problem. For some of the teams I played for, the long snapping was the problem. You never quite knew. You know, you almost were in surprise when the ball got there ready to kick it. So
definitely,
it's an intricate part of the game, though.
It absolutely is. It's quite a unique skill. And you know, if you look at teams in the NFL, there are guys who are on the roster as for example, linebackers, but essentially they're there because of their long snapping abilities. That's how valuable it is to the team.
So big fourth down coming up for the Senators in this second quarter. Fraser to take the snap. They're at the 4-yard line. And there is a flag on the play.
But a lot of movement there as well. They look like they were bringing number 26 on a kind of almost like an end around there from right to left in front of Lee Fraser, which gives you the option for the handoff, and then they still had Gavin Barr obviously outside for the pitch, but intriguing. Now this is a different situation, of course. Now it's 4th and goal on the 9-yard line, and suddenly, you know, especially coming from a formation like that, which is great for picking up short yards, it's not the sort of thing that's necessarily going to pick you up 9 yards when you've got one chance to do it.
So 4th down and goal for the Senators from the 9-yard line. They are going for it. They're not trying the field goal, and it is Lee Fraser in the backfield from the pistol formation. Takes the snap. He is going to throw. Looks for Darren Mould in the corner of the end zone, and that is picked off. The pass is intercepted by the Gladiators to end that drive.
Is it number 80 or is that number 80 there, the receiver that was intended for?
That was for Darren Mould, yeah.
Ah, right, Darren Mould there. I don't know if there was a bit of confusion because he made no effort to get that ball. He didn't even have his head round there. No. I don't know if he wasn't expecting it or. But that was a disappointing end to what was a great drive. But equally, you know, some rays of sunshine there for Gateshead, who showed they can move the ball when they need to.
So Gateshead failed to tie this game up. Colchester still lead by 7. They take over 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line. It's Curtis Bork at quarterback. Casey Campbell, number 44, in the backfield.
Motion from a 2x2 set to that King left.
And it's Campbell gets the carry. Nice run up the middle. Big hole closed up pretty quickly though there, guys. Casey Campbell picks up about 4 or 5 on the play. Good defense again from Gateshead.
Absolutely, and I think Gateshead's defence will be buoyed by the work they did in the last couple of drives.
Absolutely.
Where they've shut Colchester down when they need to, so nice job.
Casey Campbell again gets the carry. Hard work up the middle, picks up a couple. It's going to bring up 3rd down.
And again, they went for that veer left play with the tailback coming around for the pitch if the quarterback keeps it. So a couple more yards. These are the plays that were picking up some big yards early on, and now they're only picking up 3-4 yards. So it's still enough to get you a first down, but it's not quite as explosive as it was to start.
So 3rd down coming up, and it's Casey Campbell again with the carry, and he stretches. He's going to be very close. Depends on the spot. Looks like he's come up just a yard short there. 3 runs from Casey Campbell. Colchester playing it close to their vest here in their own half. You're
not long, and especially they've opted to punt here, and I think given what we've seen with them in short situations, they don't really have that power inside run game. And I think it's interesting because we run a similar sort of, you know, doubles and trips formations with a single back, and it is difficult to incorporate that power inside run package which you need in situations like this when you run from that, just because of the amount of time it takes you to get those reps to be crisp at this option stuff.
So Colchester are going to punt. Number 20, John Thompson, is back to receive for the Senators. Here comes the snap. Kicks away. Thompson might have a shot. And now he's touched that. That's a live ball.
Oh, took a friendly bounce from the Colchester point of view, but
you'd rather be lucky than good sometimes.
That's it, and you're absolutely right. As soon as number 20 puts his hand on that ball and it sort of clipped his arm on the way past, he's got to be on that, because that ball's live. If Colchester recover it, it can be a turnover there. So now a long field for Gateshead to negotiate, probably the longest we've seen so far this game.
Absolutely. I'll point out another 4th down and less than a yard situation there. So once again, teams getting stopped short. So like you said, long drive for Gateshead coming up. But as long as they can keep it on the ground, I think just like we said earlier, just stick with what they know, stick with what's working, and they should be all right.
Definitely. Lovely conditions to be playing football, and there's a little bit of a breeze, but it's nothing too bad. But it's lovely and bright out there, and nice and dry, which is important because it means you don't have that classic British problem of not being able to throw the ball because it's too wet.
So 1st and 10 for the Senators from their own 14. Lee Fraser sends a man in motion, fakes the handoff to Darren Mould, and it's given to Gavin Barr. Good running room upfield. He makes players miss. He skips to the outside, and he's off to the races. Gavin Barr racing down the right sideline. Can they catch him? He's pushed out of bounds, but not until he gets inside that Colchester 20-yard line.
Fantastic job. Once again, they fake the hand, they run one way, they run a counter behind it. And Gavin Barr, follows his blocks, and that's superb running down the sideline. Just didn't quite have that breakaway speed. A good job from Sam James coming from the opposite side of the field to make that tackle.
Exactly, but they really found what's working here, and this is going to punish Colchester all day unless they can come up with a solution quickly to keep him wrapped up.
So, big run there by Gavin Barr. He's been the star of this first half for the Senators. They have a 1st and 10 on the 17-yard line. Lee Frazier at quarterback. Barr stays in the backfield behind his quarterback, lined up to the left. Frazier from that pistol formation again. Sends a man in motion. Fakes the handoff. There is a handoff to Darren Mould, number 80. Works his way inside the 15.
The right receiver there coming across the formation, and they faked that a couple of times, like you say, but that time they decided to give the handoff. And it's that sort of thing that keeps the defence honest. If you fake it enough times, then there's a chance that they'll stop paying attention to it, and you'll be able to get some free yards. But
they faked too many more of those. I'm going to have to put my glasses on. I missed that one. 2nd down coming up for the Senators. They're still trailed by 7 in the 2nd quarter. Knocking on the door again. Through an interception in the end zone. Last time they were down close. Can they take advantage this time? It's Lee Frazier. Hands off to his go-to guy. It's Gavin Barr again, making people miss. Jenkins turns it upfield. Fights down to the 10-yard line. It's close to 1st down yardage. It's another good run by Gavin Barr.
That's incredible.
That's outstanding work from Gavin Barr, and again you see the patience he has. It's like, and obviously this is a lofty comparison to make, but when you watched the way Adrian Peterson was running in the game at the weekend down at Wembley, it's that ability to have the patience to read those blocks and find the holes, but then the explosion to exploit them when they occur, and he's doing a fantastic job so far.
So, 1st and goal at the 6-yard line for the Senators. Can they take advantage of that field position this time? And there's a timeout call.
Vuvuzelas ring around the John Charles Centre for Sport there. It's like being in the South African
Thought we
World
got
Cup.
rid of those in the World Cup.
I heard them in a long time.
Here we go then, 1st and goal for the Senators on the 6-yard line. Lee Frazier operating out that pistol formation again. Pitches the ball, it's Gavin Barr, cuts inside, tries to break one tackle. Not much doing there, but he does work inside the 5-yard line down to about the 4. It's going to bring up 2nd and goal.
That pitch there, this was a toss left, but it was a toss right that caused them the turnover in their first drive. And if you noticed, Lee Fraser's put a little bit more juice on those pitches this time to make sure that doesn't happen again. But that was well covered by Colchester.
Absolutely, they were certainly going for that ball. Almost had the ball ripped out as he was falling to the ground there, but they retained possession.
And they've moved pretty much wholesale now from the 3-4 defence that they've used for the majority of the season into a 4-3 and trying to get a little bit more penetration in the backfield and keep those offensive line a bit more occupied so they're not getting up to the backers so easy. 2nd and goal from the 4-yard line. Frazier operating out that pistol formation. Hand off inside to Gavin Barr. He tries to skip to the outside and he's dropped for a loss. Good defensive play by the Gladiators. That's going to bring up 3rd down. Dan Jones there with the tackle. He's a 2nd generation Gladiator. His father, Dave Hogarth, one of the most decorated players in the history of the Colchester Gladiators, so you'll be glad to see his son out there getting some work done. And I think that's the thing, the age of the sport in the country now, we're starting to see those 2nd generation players come through, and it's a lovely thing to see.
So here we go then, 3rd and 6 coming up. If you are a running team, is this 2-down territory right here?
Oh, it's
the tricky one.
Both these teams have struggled in these short yardage situations, but my thinking is in this situation, give the ball to Gavin Barr.
Here we go then, it's some 3rd down. Gavin Barr takes the ball, he works his way around the right side, cuts upfield, big hit, he's levelled at the 3-yard line. That's going to bring up 4th down.
Nice job again there. They sent a lot of bodies to that play side there, trying to get some blocks thrown out there, and it just came up short. But here we go. This is when it gets exciting again, though, because we're looking at 4th and goal from the 3-yard line, and can Colchester close the door here and turn the ball over, or?
Well, that's it. We've had 2 incredibly tough defences. If I was in this position, I would honestly go for the field goal. Not to put any doubt on my offence, but it'd be good to get on the scoreboard and just keep momentum, get points from this whole drive, which has been almost the full length of the pitch.
Absolutely, and they've shown they can move the ball, and I guess there's something to be said for get those 3 points on the board, and then if it ends up being a shootout when it's touchdowns going back and forward, you've always got that extra 3-point cushion when you manage to level the number of touchdowns your opposition scores. So there's something to be said for it, certainly.
Yeah, and it takes the nerves off the guys there. Having a 0 on the scoreboard is never good. You always want that first score, no matter what it is, just so you can get off and running.
They need their old reliable kicker, Gary Marshall. That's what it is.
They do. I don't know if has he got both his shoes on today, or is there still one off?
Gary kicking for years. Was Gary a barefoot kicker as well?
He was, yeah.
I kicked barefoot a number of years, yeah.
Oh, back in the day, yeah. I've known
I'm getting all misty-eyed.
That's it. You ever consider, dusting the pads off for maybe a wee?
Oh, I don't know. Some of my friends are still playing. They're in their early 40s, so I think I'm done. I think I like watching and talking about it now.
Yeah.
We'll watch this play coming up then. It's a big 4th down. Looks like a direct snap coming to Gavin Barr. There he is. He takes the direct snap for centre and he fights his way into the end zone, untouched in the end, and there's the touchdown for the Senators. They are a point away from tying up this Britbowl national final.
And when you've got a quarterback in Lee Fraser who's built like an offensive lineman, you can go to those direct snap formations and essentially have an extra blocker on the play side. Great job from him, and Barr, like you say, straight through untouched. Evens it up at 1 touchdown each, and whether they can get the extras here.
Yeah, looks like I have to eat my words there. Should have faith in the offense.
So Gateshead do get to kick at goal, but it's for an extra point.
Hold on,
there's a flag down. There was an extra player trying to run on the field. Late substitution.
12 players on the field. And if you hear the referee's microphone there, the wind's starting to pick up a little bit, and it's kind of clouded over. It's a bit greyer than it was, so that wind could start to have an impact. From where we're standing, it appears to be blowing left to right, which will favour the Gladiators' passing game at the moment, but neither of the teams have really opened up their passing playbook that much yet.
So a longer extra point attempt for John Thompson. Colchester leads 7-6. Let's see if this extra point will go over and tie things up. Snap's good, holds down, and the kick is good enough. So this game is all tied at 7 apiece in the second quarter.
And again, the sound of those Gateshead vuvuzelas ring around Leeds. For anybody out there who's interested in vuvuzelas, if you're looking for a cheap pocket option, if you buy those party blowers with the paper on the end and tear the paper off, you can have a vuvuzela in your pocket anytime you need, which can be ideal in a work meeting or any other scenario.
Alternatively, just watch the game and don't burst all of our eardrums.
yeah, that's good too.
Or am I getting a bit old and grumpy?
When you've paid to come a game and the person next to is blasting their vuvuzela for an hour.
Well, you move. There's some room here.
There's a sort of scent of chips wafted across the stand as well. I noticed earlier on, so I'd probably be moving a bit closer where that's coming from.
Well, that touchdown capped off an 83-yard drive there, so huge drive for the Senators to get them on the board.
We said that when they got the ball from that almost turnover on the punt. We said, it's going to be the longest field that either teams had to negotiate, and they did some work with some big plays from Gavin Barr, but also got the dirty work done when they needed to inside the red zone. Kickoff,
so short kick.
And again, they're looking for
taking the pitch. There it is. Straight up the middle. It's going to be
a
touchdown. It's going all the way. The big kickoff return, and the Gladiators have struck back immediately. Some special teams magic, and it's the Gladiators who now lead this national final.
Well, I tell you something. They did that the very opening kickoff with the sort of misdirection where the ball gets kicked short, it's picked up with a wedge, and then he turns to face his own returners and essentially runs a bit of misdirection. Personally, I hate that stuff. And I was just about to slag them off for doing it there, but then he takes it to the house, so I'm going to let him off with it this time.
Ashley Latter with the big run back for the touchdown for the Gladiators. The immediate response from that Gateshead touchdown. And now Nathan Brown on to attempt the extra point. And there's another flag down.
Well, man, defense, up, penalty, looks right up.
Latter. So following that big touchdown return by Ashley Latter, Nathan Brown is on to attempt the extra point. Snap goes through the holder's hands.
No good.
And there you have it. Snapping issues on kicking attempts.
Discussed previously.
So 13-7. The Colchester Gladiators lead in this national final.
It's funny, I said Gateshead were moving the ball down the field with ease in the last drive. I was thinking to myself, it feels like the momentum shifted a little bit in this game, because right at the very opening drive, it looked a lot like Colchester were just going to eat this game up. You know, they moved the ball with ease well, and then they turned it over at the end of that drive. But you know, Gateshead, their offense started to get a little bit of momentum, and they've done a cracking job. But now looking at it, we're starting to think, you know, maybe that could be the play that swings it back in the favour of the Gladiators.
So that's the beauty of special teams. You can take all the momentum the other team has and just burst it in one go with a kick return.
And all those special teams coordinators out there, Kenny McPhail, you know, in Manchester, he'll be delighted with that one. Loves a bit of special teams down there.
So Casey Campbell to kick off, John Thompson number 20 and number 34 Spencer Hind back to receive for the Senators. There's the kick, it's going to go to Thompson. Fields inside his own 20, picks it up, loose ball, works his way back up the middle of the field. This is going to be good field position. And that's a good run back past his own 40-yard line by John Thompson.
He had some room to work if he'd broken that outside there as well. There wasn't much between him and the end zone, but that's a good bit of running, especially from a fumble as well.
Indeed. So remember to keep your messages coming in. Where are you watching in the world? How many people are you watching with? Are you watching with family, with friends? Are you family or friends with some of the guys on the pitch here? Let us know via Facebook or Twitter. A big hello to Brian Jopling, who's just wrote in. He's a fan of the guys down on the field, so I hope you're enjoying the stream, Brian.
And again, AP, if you could share the Twitter handle with the guys so they know where they're sending their messages.
At Gridiron_TV, of course.
Excellent.
First and 10 for the Senators. Frazier takes the snap, he looks to throw, he's got a man wide open downfield. It's Darren Mould down the right sideline, spins away from a tackler, still going on his feet, gets inside the 25-yard line. That looked like a blown coverage.
It did indeed, and 36 did a good job making up the ground after the catch, but then his attempt at tackle and let him down a little bit, so it was just as well he had a bit of support coming over the top. It's the first reasonably sized pass we've seen so far today, though. It's long overdue.
And you feel they need it to find that balance, because obviously you know what you've got with the running back. You need to have a bit more offensive
Absolutely,
balance.
and Gary Marshall said that to me this morning. He said, you know, we're looking to make sure we have a balance between run and pass, but so far we haven't really seen that. And I guess if it's working, then you don't really need it, but it's nice to see them keeping the defence honest.
So this Gateshead offence has woken up in the second quarter. It's Lee Frazier out of the pistol. First down play, pitches to Spencer Hind. Not much doing there around the right side. In fact, he's going to be dropped for a loss of a couple on the play.
Nice job there from the centre, snaps the ball. The beautiful thing in those situations is when the defensive lineman slants away from the play and you're able to just gently assist him to the ground in the way that number 62 did there. So nice job. Got to give a shout out to the centres, you know, and they never get any love.
People can tweet me as well at Neil Reynolds NFL. Got one from Amelia Jane, says, I feel like I'm watching the NFL with Neil Reynolds commentating on Gridiron TV. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it.
There you go.
So second down and long coming up. Frazier operating out of that pistol formation again. Two men in the backfield with him. He takes a snap and it's another handoff to Spencer Hind. There's some running room up there. He's going to fight his way to the 20-yard line.
Are you much of a Twitter user yourself, Matthew?
I do have a Twitter account, and it's at SpoonyAB3. Spoony with IE, not a Y, not like DJ Spoony. I always get confused for him. Obviously, we're quite similar looking as well. So, but no, I do use it occasionally. So if people want to send me some love, that's fine. But it's much easier if you send it to the GridironTV account, and then those guys can keep us updated with what's going on.
Absolutely.
Third down play coming up. Third and about 6 for the Gateshead Senators. They trail 13-7 in the first half of this National Division final. Lee Frazier is going to work out that pistol formation, sends his wide receiver Darren Mould in motion, fakes the handoff, and he's going to fire downfield. He's got a man there. It's caught in the end zone for a touchdown. And the Gladiators, the Senators fight back. The Gladiators can't cover. Craig Lenihan gets himself in there.
Craig Lenihan's another one who we talked about who's come up from this the junior program. So they've graduated quite a lot of players. Out of the 38 guys that are likely to be active today, 25 of them are either rookies or junior graduates who are pushed up because the junior grad team didn't have enough players. And it just shows that if you guys invest the time and effort, and they've had a long-standing junior program and youth program that have produced great players, it just shows that it pays dividends in the senior game.
It really does. It really does.
So that's 2 long passes there, 2 passes that the Gladiators really failed to do anything about, and it's Craig Lenehan who scores that touchdown. It's 13 apiece. John Thompson on to attempt the extra point. And that kick is blocked. So that's blocked, and we are all tied up at 13 points apiece in this national final.
Excellent. Just when the up in the commentary booth we're asking for them to open up the passing playbook a little bit, and they have a deep pass on the right sideline, and then a pass that's taken to the end zone. So it's nice to see Gateshead showing us a little bit more of that stuff. It just makes everything much easier. If you have a balanced offense and you're able to keep the defense honest, you open up the running lanes by having the DBs and the linebackers a little bit more concerned about their coverage responsibilities. So good to see.
They're trying to look a lot more relaxed than at the beginning of the game. It's trying to open up their playbook on offense and just break out a little bit. So it's up to Colchester now to keep them in check and make sure they don't build any more momentum.
So right now, if I am the special teams coordinator for Gateshead, I'm thinking, let's get our coverage tightened up here a little bit.
So that was a 4-play, 58-yard drive, and Lee Fraser, 56 of those yards through the air, is finally finding that balance for the Senators. John Thompson to kick off. Again, it's a short kick. That is not where you want to be kicking it. Here we go again. More misdirection. It's Chris Jackson this time, number 25 on the play. Gateshead deal with it better that time, but it's still on the 35-yard line, and a flag down. Looks like a late hit coming in. There could be another 15 yards on this play.
Huge block on number 15 as well. He ended up with the soles of his feet to the sky, so good work on the blocking. But again, like you say, they did a much better job that time of covering it than they did the previous time. Essentially it's the same theory, the guy who would be your wedge man in a traditional formation, catch the ball, turns out to face the returners and gives them options as to who takes it. But it was better covered that time from Gateshead.
Play is over. Personal foul, late hit.
So the penalty is against the Gladiators. Number 34 on the penalty, Luke Box, penalised, so they go back 15 yards. You said, what does the Gateshead special teams coach do on that one? The limited parts of the special teams play I've seen so far, he kicks it straight out of bounds because they're looking dangerous on their return.
It's absolutely true, and this is another challenge, is that in these situations where it's teams that haven't played each other, don't know each other that well,
right,
you spend so much time working on what they're going to do on offense and what they're going to do in defense. It's often neglected.
Another 2-minute warning on the field. Slight malfunction with the referee's microphone. We'll get that sorted as soon as we can.
So there are 2 minutes left in a very evenly played first half here at John Charles Stadium in Leeds. Colchester are about to start a drive on their own 20-yard line. And the handoff is to Casey Campbell, and he's stopped after a gain of about 2. They might give him some forward progress there. He gets 2 yards before he's dragged into the backfield.
Absolutely. Casey Campbell started off this game well, and he had a pretty bright first quarter, but he's been relatively quiet in the second quarter. They'll be looking to re-establish his contribution when they get past half time for sure.
Absolutely, they need to ignite it in these last 2 minutes of the half.
2nd down and 8 coming up. Curtis Bork calling out the signals. He's in the pistol formation. Seen both quarterbacks spend most of the first half there. He rolls to his left, looking downfield. He's got plenty of time to throw. Pass intended for Chris Jackson, number 25, and it falls incomplete. That's going to bring up a 3rd down.
And that's certainly been a challenge so far for Gateshead. I know when Matt Roberts gets his guys in the changing room at half time, we've been looking to make some adjustments to try and get this passing game opened up. They haven't had much drop back stuff. They've rolled the quarterback out probably on 4 or 5 occasions now, but with very little success in the passing game.
3rd down and 8 for Colchester. It's a handoff. There he keeps the ball, pitches out to Chris Jackson. He's breaking tackles. That is a 1st down run. Again, looks the fake handoff to Campbell, number 44. pitches to Chris Jackson, and they have first down yardage.
Yeah, that veer play has worked really well for them, and when I watched some highlights of them earlier this year, or I contacted each of the head coaches just to get some film, get a feel for what we were going to see today, and you see that play an awful lot. They take that fullback downhill, and he's running inside the defensive end, who's the guy that they read. If he looks like he's going to make the tackle, the quarterback can pull and keep, or he can pull and then pitch, and in that case he pitched outside, and they managed to get some decent yards on the first down.
Commentator's nightmare, those fakes.
Thankfully, it's a play that we have in our playbook, and it's one of our sort of fundamentals, so it's something I know to look out for.
Yeah.
But yeah, on these, I tell you, on the kickoff, it's a bit more of a challenge for me because I don't see much of that up our way. Option football's really taken a kind of centre stage again over the last few years. Even again, talking about the NFL, we've started to see them run a lot of zone read, a lot of different teams. But it's funny because it seems like a very modern concept. But when you look back to the 40s and 50s, when running the ball was what everybody did, that was how they did it. It was that big downhill stuff, and then those option plays.
Curtis Bork on the rollout. No one available. He throws it away. That's going to bring up a second down.
I thought we were going to see a Palomalu-esque interception there with the toes in on the sideline, stretching out into the...
It was a nice effort, absolutely.
So, 2nd and 10 coming up for the Gladiators. Ball on their own 35-yard line. We are late in the first half. Score tied at 13 apiece. Bork hands the ball to Casey Campbell. Tries to spin away from tackles. But Gateshead continue with the good defensive work against that strong running back.
Yeah, and I think that's really been the story of this first half, is that Gateshead's defence have really stepped up to the mark. From the first drive, when it looked like they were going to get just kind of overwhelmed by the options that Colchester were thrown at them, they've really tightened up, and bearing in mind that one of Colchester's scores was a special team score, I think they've probably been the standout unit.
Absolutely, had a great year all year, giving up hardly any points at all, and still going strong here in this game.
They averaged 8.5 points conceded all the way through the regular season, so considering one of those games was a loss and one was a draw, it's a pretty impressive number of points to concede, so good job to them.
Great to see Craig Lenehan getting the support of his own team. The Gateshead Senators have just tweeted, "He caught it!" ! Touchdown.
That's probably Gary Marshall from the sideline.
Coaching via Twitter.
Yeah,
that's what we're like. Maybe he's put a few on the ground in practice, who knows.
You do want they've kind of been pioneering over in the States, they've had those receivers running about making catches, wearing that stuff, and you wonder when we're going to see technology like that introduced in, even into wrist coaches potentially, they can send in signals that way.
Third down coming up then, late in this first half. Curtis Bork takes the handoff, fires downfield, intercepted or out of bounds. Forwards incomplete. That brings up 4th down, and looks like the Gladiators are going to punt.
It looked like they were going to run a screen there. They sent their tailback there on a sort of swing route underneath the two receivers on the near sideline, and it looked an awful lot like they were going to run a screen at him, and they certainly had the space to do so, but I guess with the quarterback maybe feeling like he's not contributed much through the air, was looking to try and get that deep bomb just before half time, and again it falls incomplete.
So here comes the punt from the Gladiators. Number 20, John Thompson, is back to receive. Good snap. Kicks away. Thompson's going to have a chance to return it if he chooses. Takes it on one bounce, bobbles it, picks it up, picks up about 6 before skipping out of bounds.
Good thinking before he gets labelled by number 39 there, who had a nice angle on him. It was about a 48-yard punt through the air, and the wind's behind those guys, so it kind of helps a little bit. But he didn't feel like he got a very clean connection on that. It sort of had that dead thud sound rather than that crisp snap you're looking for. But
there's a flag on the play.
It's going
to be against Colchester. Thompson might have an opportunity to return another one if they choose. Let's wait for the call. It's a full start. So a full start penalty against Colchester. It's going to be a first down.
He's declined at 31-yard line. They're going to be picking the ball up on. So there can't be much time ago now, although there have been a few passes which will have stopped the clock, but I reckon we can't have more than about 30 or 40 seconds left in this half. So
deep into the 2-minute drill here, going to be sharp on offence.
Use those timeouts as well. That's something that we've not seen much from either team. There was I think each team maybe used one, something like that. So there's still plenty of opportunities to get a deep pass in there. If you don't get the sideline, then call a timeout, move upfield, and get another shot at the end zone.
And the important thing is to come away with some points here at the end of the half.
You'd hope so, certainly. I mean, they're tied at 13-all, so even if they can get a field goal on the board here, it'll give them a lead going at the half-time, which is a big boost.
So Lee Frazier working out of the pistol formation. It's 1st and 10 at his own 36-yard line. We're deep inside this first half. He throws over the middle and the ball is put on the floor. That should have been caught. That's number 84 there who should have made the catch. That is Simon Cruz.
I'm sure Simon Cruz will be kicking himself because he had a little bit of room to run there if he'd got the ball and also the opportunity to get the sideline as well. There didn't seem to be much in the way stopping him getting that, so disappointing for him, but short memory on to the next one.
So 2nd down coming up for the Senators. They relied on their defence early. They found their offence in the 2nd quarter. Some good passing from Frazier in the last drive. Here he goes again, looks for Gavin Barr, makes the catch out of the backfield, turns it upfield. That's going to be close to 1st down yardage. He's got a bad spot there. It's going to be short.
I think I'm going to set up myself a t-shirt printing business in Gateshead, get a little stand outside the Gateshead training ground with the t-shirts for Gavin Barr. If in doubt, Gavin Barr. You know, that's a slogan we can maybe introduce.
Next to where the gate is where you came in.
And for those of you who can overhear the sound of the tannoy in the stadium, that's the unmistakable sound of Mike Klusky, who's a long-time kind of stalwart of Yorkshire American football, working hard again today.
3rd down, direct snap to Gavin Barr. He fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, and he picks up 1st down yardage around the right end. Again, we've seen that play a couple of times in this first half.
We have indeed, and that wildcat option's a good one to have in the playbook, and again, they've managed to pick up the 1st down, so nice job. Like you say, that fake to the end around and then straight across. So they really must be
So
sure.
Frazier under centre spikes the ball down. We are coming towards the end of this first half here in Leeds. All tied up at 13 apiece. We'll see what they do with time running out here and the 2nd down coming up.
So remember, this is one of our Newella MVP matches as well, so I think we know who some of our standouts are already in this game. If you have an opinion on who you think is the MVP at the moment, keep an eye on them, and in the 2nd half you can send in your votes for your MVP, and then they'll be nominated at the end of the game and win one of our custom Newella MVP jerseys.
So here we are, 2nd and 10.
2nd down coming up. Lee Frazier is going to operate out of the shotgun. He's gone 4 wide receivers late in this first half. Gavin Barr in the backfield next to him. And Frazier is going to drop and pass, and the ball is batted down. That is an incomplete pass.
Nice job, and it does a great bit of work for the defensive lineman there, because if he hadn't got to that, he had his receiver out the flat wide open, and that's going to be a big loss if they manage to get their hands in it, so good work.
Gary Shuttleworth knocks down the pass and brings up 3rd down. Oh, we're at the half. We are at the half in the National Division final, and we are all tied up. The Colchester Gladiators and the Gateshead Senators. It's 13 apiece.
Notice that they can also operate out of that shotgun 4 wide in a 2x2 formation there, so they've definitely got the more varied offense, and they've got the more powerful inside run game, and their defense has been strong in especially the short yardage situations. But at the same time, Colchester showed us right at the very beginning and on special teams that they've got some explosion if they need to.
Absolutely, I'm being quite surprised by the offenses. In fact, I think when we talked about it at the beginning of the game, we thought that Colchester were going to be up and down through the air, big yardage as per usually during the season, but we've seen great defensive standouts, particularly from Gateshead, goal line stance, 4th down stance, and they've really held Colchester in check, and I think they've probably disrupted a lot of their plans here, which is why Colchester looked a bit off in the second quarter. They didn't look quite comfortable in what they were doing.
Definitely, and when we had the short yardage goal line stand from Gateshead, I commented on the Colchester offensive players coming off the side of the field. You could see the look on their face. You could certainly read their body language from here. They looked a little bit dejected, and I think when they got the ball inside the 17-yard line, they expected to punch it in for the second touchdown of the day, and when that didn't happen, that seems to have had a bit of an impact on them. So they'll be looking to regroup at half time, and he'll be talking them through what he wants them to change. So I think we'll see more of the same from Gateshead, though. Their inside run game's been pretty effective today.
So don't go too far away. We'll be back very shortly here on Gridiron TV with the second half of the game so far. The score is currently tied 13 apiece, so we've got a great second half coming up very soon, so don't go too far away.
The Gladiators, number 20 John Thompson and number 34 Spencer Hind back to receive.
Okay, what about those Senators?
Campbell with the kick. It's a short one. Fumbled. And falls on it at his own 32-yard line. So it's from there that the Senators will take over. Matt Kidd with the fumble.
And the Senators chose to defer the kickoff when they won the toss in the first half, and this is the time when they can take full advantage of that when they get the ball on their own 32-yard line and try and continue where they left off towards the end of that half.
Once more, so we'll be hearing the dulcet tones of Ben Griffiths throughout the second half.
So you talk about athletes and discipline. I managed to walk past the burger van downstairs at half time,
nice
and I
work.
Avoided it. There were pie and chips on offer.
That's nice work. I get married 2 weeks today, and so I was on a 9-day aloe vera gel based detox, and I lost 13
Can you shampoo yourself every day?
Well, I tell you, right, this stuff is just awful tasting stuff, and you have to do kind of 3 shots of it at the start of the day and 3 at the end before your meals. And I lost 13.5 pounds in 9 days.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice work. Well, the pie and chips has got my name on it after this first final.
You'll notice I was nibbling away on some nuts there. I had some sushi for my lunch, so just keeping it strictly athletic.
Here we go then, 1st and 10. First offensive play of the second half. Lee Frazier sends Darren Mould in motion, fakes the handoff and gives inside to Spencer Hind, who's got some running room, balls over the defensive back for a first down yardage for the Senators.
Nice job dipping the shoulder there on that run, getting those extra 3 or 4 yards after what could have been a tackle. So nice job. That's great running.
That's exactly how you need to run as a running back. You can't run around them, run through them. Simple.
Absolutely.
Anyone in for Carnegie?
So 1st and 10 coming up for the Senators. They're on their own 44-yard line. This game's all tied up at 13 apiece. We are early in the second half of this National Division final here at John Charles Stadium in Leeds. Lee Frazier going to take the snap from the pistol formation. Hands off to Spencer Hind. He's trying to get round his blockers. Nice block outside. Again, good finishing of the run from Spencer Hind. He's across midfield.
A nice start to the second half here. Gateshead keeping it on the ground but getting really good yards with Hines, following his blocks well, and it's a good start for the second half and quite promising for them that they can keep up the momentum from the end of the first half.
Absolutely. John Bon Jovi here says on Twitter, Senators running back number 47, who's Gavin Barr, is a monster, sign him up. Although I don't think it's the John Bon Jovi, but it could be. You just never know. I know he likes his football. He lives in New Jersey. He's a Giants fan as well, John Bon Jovi.
Not a Senators fan though.
No, John Bon Jovi actually told me he hates the Senators. That's not strictly true. I've never met John Bon Jovi. Did meet David Hasselhoff once though. Totally blanked me in the street in New York. That was nice. Claim to fame.
How very dare he?
I know. One day he'll look back and he'll think that's an opportunity wasted.
What was he thinking?
I tell you what happened. It was brilliant. It was just underneath the awning at the Empire State Building. I was walking along and I was like, that's the Hoff. And I turned around to speak to him, and then this smoking hot blonde girl came along and he just totally binned me off for her. And I was like, I'd have probably done the same, Hoff. Nice work.
1st and 10 coming up for the Senators early in this second half. Lee Frazier takes the snap, fires downfield. He's got Darren Mould This pass is going to be incomplete.
That would have been a superb one-handed interception, but it's good coverage there for number 36 from the Colchester Gladiators.
36, that was rolled off. Defense on that play. Got hands on it.
So plenty of tweets coming into at Gridiron_TV. Lots of people watching from home as well as abroad, as we mentioned before. So keep them coming in.
Yeah, an ex-Essex Blade there, Ross Taylor, watched a lot of ex-coaches and teammates on the Glads. So shout out to Ross Taylor. Just keep them coming, let us know what you're up to, where you're watching.
Second down for the Senators. Lee Fraser takes the snap. There is a flag on the play. No Gavin Barr on this drive yet, guys.
No, I was just thinking the same thing. We've not seen any Gavin Barr, so I wonder if that's indicative of maybe an injury picked up or...
That ball, full start, number 16 offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
It's probably a pie and chip situation.
It could be. I mean, the thing is, there
was a queue. There was
I was going to say, if there's a queue, you know, and Gavin Barr's not the kind of guy that would jump the queue, you know. I mean, I appreciate he's got a game of play, but he's got a lot of decorum about him. So,
So following that penalty, it's going to be a second and long for the Senators. Opening drive of the second half. Game all tied up at 13 apiece here in Leeds. Lee Fraser takes the snap. He pitches to Spencer Hind. He's got a little bit of room.
that's a great
Good
tackle.
defence. Gain of about 5 on the play.
Good lead blocking and a nice cut up. Following his fullback's block there. Picks up a short gain. So still a long way to go, but they have been pretty successful on the ground even without Barr so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a great example there again of following your blocks, you know. Nice job. I'm not sure Lee Fraser likes operating from the far hash, so it's a long way to run back after you see the signal. I think he'll be looking to maybe get the ball spot on the left next time.
Or get a radio in his helmet.
Well, that'll be the next thing.
Third and long coming up for the Senators. They have 2 wide receivers, 2 men in the backfield with Lee Fraser operating out the pistol formation. He takes the snap and hands it off to his fullback.
Fooled all of us there. I was looking for Spencer Haywood to be making the
Paul Richardson
run off
on the
right
carry.
tackle.
And that's going to bring up a punting situation.
That's not what they were looking for in their first drive, but it does sometimes take a little bit of time when you come off that half-time break to get back into the swing of things. So
They changed field position with that drive, if nothing else, to get this punt away.
they should be able to pin them fairly deep if the wind's still behind them, and it has calmed down a little bit, but fingers crossed they'll be able to pin them deep for the Senators. And
Possibly in some cases an 80-yard field. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. It makes a huge difference. Saps the energy. Then of course you've got the added factor of the adrenaline rush of the final.
So here comes the punting situation. Casey Campbell is back to receive. 3 up backs in front of the punter. It's a high snap straight over Darren Mould's head. He's got some work to do here to fall on the ball. And the football is recovered by the Gladiators, and Mould might be hurt on the play as well, trying to make a play for his team on special teams. Dean Semple recovered for the Gladiators.
Doesn't look
We
too
talk
good
about
for
field
Dan
position.
Mould there.
They've got it right there.
It's a little bit slow to get up there.
It was another high snap that's caused that. I had one earlier in the game.
I tell you something, that was a very strange formation. They went for a kind of shield punt with the 3 guys, 3 up backs as Neil described them in front of the punter, but they only had 3 down linemen.
Yeah, very
And
confusing
4,
actually.
Almost like 4 wide receivers split to the left, which I guess the theory maybe is that, you know, they keep those guys out there. You could have a direct snap to one of the up backs and a pass to him, which, you know, keeps them honest. But it just seemed like a very odd formation. And then ultimately what happened was, when the snap did go high, there were bodies all over the place to recover it. But here's hoping Dan Mole's not too badly injured and gets up okay. The medics are with him just now.
Yeah, we'll take a look. We wish Darren Mould the best as they take a look at him. Did disappear under a pile of bodies on that play. And yeah, another bad snap. I'm going to start a snapping clinic. I think I'll make a fortune
That's
in
where the
British
money
football.
is. Well, you know, Ryan Baker's got just through it for the quarterbacks. You know, if any of you guys there know Ryan Baker, he's the quarterbacks coach with the Birmingham Lions University team, and he runs quarterback clinics both with guys all over the country, and also more recently with some of the ladies teams, which has started to become a bit more of a feature of the British American football landscape, which is great. So, you know, I think a long snapper one could be the next thing. maybe get you along to the BAFTA convention next year in July. You know, you can do a long snapping clinic.
Bring a couple of long snappers over from the NFL.
That's it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's all we need.
It's it. It's something that, yeah, it's, you know, it's a very under-practiced part. I think special teams in general, I think when we've all been involved in teams, and I think, you know, we've probably all seen it ourselves, that you know, if you're an offensive coordinator, there's not enough hours in the day, you know, when you're trying to get your guys practicing.
To practice anyway.
You're squeezing every second you can out of it. So when someone says, I want to take some of that time off you to work on long snapping or holding for a kick, typically you tend to be a little bit reticent to give up that time. But then, of course, in times like this, you realise that it's time well spent. And I would say from the Pilots this year, the East Kilbride Pilots I'm involved with, I think we undervalued our special teams units this year, and it did cost us at times. You know, we weren't as crisp as we've been in previous years, and it's definitely something we'll need to look at. So
it really stands out, the teams that pay a bit more attention to special teams, because we've already seen it today with the return how much of an impact it can make. It doesn't need to be every single time, but it's in those key moments of the game. If you can just keep it focused and get the big return or the touchdown, that's what makes a big difference.
That's as big as a 60 or 70 yard catch right there. That snap going over the head. And
it absolutely is. And when you look at what's happened, the way this game has gone, both defenses have essentially, they've given up big plays both ways, but they've tightened up when they need to. So the offenses are not having the same success score-wise. So when you've got a special teams unit, whether it be a kick return, a punt return team, where you can, or even a kick and punt coverage team where you can give yourself good field position against the opposition. If you can put points on the board in special teams, that can be enough to win you a game. And I think that's one of the things that you'll see tonight in the big game between the two London teams. The Blitz and the Warriors are two teams who take special teams very seriously. That's Moldo getting up there. He looks a little bit shaken, but he's on his feet, and that's what we like to see.
It's a good side. Possibly a back injury or a hip injury or something like that, which is always, you've got to be really careful with it. I know from personal experience about lower back injuries in football, but
and obviously Jake Mocker picked up a hip injury in a kind of freak accident this week, and he had a great start of the season over in the Tennessee Titans, and it just shows that it seems that sometimes the little innocuous hits can be the ones that
come back to haunt you.
Well, that's a worry for the Senators, because that's their passing weapon at the moment. Obviously,
absolutely.
They've been a ground attack, but when they have gone to the air, it's been,
and they've used them on those end arounds as well, you know, and the fakes as well, which have been quite a feature of what we've seen so far. Here we go though, back to the Colchester Gladiators in a 2x2. Again, those slot receivers are a long way off the line, which if you're trying to do any kind of deep route, is, you know, you're giving yourself 3 yards extra to run.
So here go Colchester then with that excellent field position after that turnover. Not really got much offense going since their first quarter, and that touchdown from Casey Campbell. Curtis Bork takes the snap, hands off to Campbell, gets decent yardage up the middle before a big hit.
Much better. That's the Campbell we saw at the first quarter there. Picks up probably 5 yards on the run. And it's, you know, it's simple stuff. It's right between the guard and tackle, straight upfield.
Definitely. If he can build his momentum, if he can get back into this game, that'll be important to them regaining momentum, and control of this half.
Absolutely.
Second down coming up for the Gladiators. All tied up at 13 apiece. Curtis Bork is the quarterback. He's got 4 wide receivers. Casey Campbell in the backfield. Takes the snap, keeps it himself and picks it off out to Chris Jackson. Nice little pitch play out there. It's going to be a first down. Jackson down the left sideline.
We've talked about it a lot so far. It's that veer play. Read that defensive end. You've got the dive option, you've got the pull option, then you've got the pitch. So they read the dive off that defensive end, then they read the pitch off that force player. Did a great job, got the pitch out, and then, you know, once you get it in the hands of number 25, you're picking up yards if he's got space, because he's got some wheels.
So after that special teams turnover, Colchester are knocking on the door here in the second half. It's first down, and they are on the 10-yard line. Curtis Bork, this time he keeps and pitches again. Chris Jackson cuts back up. Jackson's going inside the 5, down at about the 4-yard line, and that play again is having some success for the Colchester Gladiators
really
on this drive.
comfortable running that now. They've really got their eye in for it, and I fully expect to see a lot more of it in the game.
Definitely, and it's absolutely right. And just what we heard over the tannoy there from Mike Klusky is if it's not broken, don't fix it. You know what they're doing is working. These veer plays, they're motioning a wide receiver in as a fullback, and then they're using them as the
second down for the Gladiators. Hand off to Casey Campbell, cuts inside,
Oh,
balls come loose.
Turned over.
Looked like he was already in the end zone. We'll wait and see. They've not signalled touchdown. There's a flag now flying. Casey Campbell looked like he got in the end zone, but they didn't call a touchdown. Then the ball came loose, And now it's a pile-up. Let's see who's got the football.
The Colchester Gladiators player looked like he was first to it, but I don't think he secured the ball, so this could go anyway. This could be a touchdown, it could be a turnover.
Very interesting call.
Well, it's worth saying that thank you very much for being here today. We have got the Gridiron TV.
Turnover.
And that is a turnover. That is a ball that has gone back to the Gateshead Senators. There is no instant replay, of course, at Britbowl. They might wish there was for the Gladiators there. Looked like he was close to the end zone when that ball came loose.
He did, and now it's been turned over.
And now we have a touchdown. Touchdown.
So we've got signals going each way. Let's wait for the referee. He's about to come
Here we
out.
go. Let's have some confirmation. There you go. Touchdown, folks. Touchdown for the Gladiators. Don't ask me who scored it. It's a touchdown.
7 piling on. That will be enforced on the kickoff.
Where's Ed Hawkley when you need him?
So not clear whether the running back carried the ball over the line or whether Colchester recovered it in the end zone.
Well, I think actually there, Matt, that was probably the ball breaking the play to the end zone, and it looked like the line judge on this side was pleading the case for that being in the end zone. So that's what I think triggered the touchdown call.
So we'll have an extra point attempt coming up for the Gladiators. Looks like Casey Campbell had crossed the plane of the goal line with that touchdown run. He'll be credited with the score. That's now 19-13. Can Nathan Brown tack on the extra point here in the third quarter? There's the snap, the hold, and the kick is up. And Brown's kick is good. So it's Colchester early in this second half taking advantage of the special teams turnover and the mistake from the Senators. Casey Campbell gets the touchdown run. They lead 20-13.
Absolutely. What a swing of momentum that was there, and it almost looked like it swung back in Gateshead favour when some of their players ran away from that pile looking like they turned the ball over, but no. Touchdown to Colchester, and suddenly it's a score in it again.
Gateshead may very well have come up with that ball. I think that's what they were talking about, but I think they finally ruled that
absolutely.
Campbell crossed the plane. It did look like he was a yard into the end zone.
Yeah, it did. I think it's challenging because you can see, obviously this is often used for football, and you can see the 6-yard line just sort of ghosts alongside the
goal line.
The goal line, so it's difficult to tell. But yeah, he definitely looked from where we're standing. We're elevated right in the middle of the stand that he was in the end zone, and that's what the officials have ruled. So. Good.
So it's Campbell with a second touchdown, capping a 29-yard drive there. Put Colchester back in the lead.
And they didn't do an awful lot on that drive. They ran veer left and right. They motioned the slot receivers in as a fullback, and they just ran what worked. And
yeah, well, like I said, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
The thing I like about that formation when they've got the offset fullback and the tailback behind when the quarterback's in pistol is they run the same play both ways, and they use different guys as the pitch. They use opposite guys, the pitch man. So sometimes they'll run it with the dive handoff to the fullback and the pitch to the tailback, and then other times they'll run it to the opposite side and they'll use the tailback as the pitch man, and they'll swing the fullback around as the pitch man. So keeps the defence honest for sure.
Casey Campbell's not the first British player, of course, to be undone by a phantom 6-yard box. We've all had that, I'm sure, at various pitches we've played on up and down the country. So it's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Senators on their own 29-yard line.
And speaking about that, it's a fantastic facility here at the John Charles Centre for Sport. The Leeds, the Yorkshire Rams, used to play here a few years ago, and they've used it for the university finals for the last few years, and it's a great size, lovely stand, and they're generating a good atmosphere downstairs with the fans.
So Lee Frazier operating out the pistol on 1st down, hands to Gavin Barr. Barr takes his time, sees what's ahead of him, picking his way upfield, still going down the left side, gain of about 7 on the play.
What we said all game, great job reading his blocks. You'll see him, he's got his hand out there on his offensive lineman's back. Just read those blocks and work off them. It makes it so difficult for a defender, because if you commit to a side before your offensive lineman have set the blocks up, it makes it easy because he can just read that, avoid the block and make the tackle. But here he's waiting until those blocks are set up. The defender has to commit to a side and he makes them wrong. It's just fantastic.
Very
running.
patient running, in fact.
That's a 7-yard pickup as well.
2nd down and 3 for the Senators. They trail by 7. Frazier takes the snap, hand off to Gavin Barr. There's running room up the middle. He finishes a strong run again. 1st down yardage. Out close to the 44-yard line, be first and 10.
About 7.5 yards, picks up a first down and another 5 yards as well on top of it. Gavin Barr's having a fantastic game.
It is, and we didn't see him early on in the half, but we see him now, and he's just the same as in the first half. Still patient, still really effective too.
And let's not forget, when a team's as effective as that, running the ball in between the tackles, the offensive line up front are doing a good job. You know, there's some veteran offensive linemen there, but it's funny when you look at them. There's some smaller guys in that line too, but they're just getting their hands dirty and getting the work done. It's great to see.
So first and 10. Hand off to Gavin Barr. There's running room this side. He's tripped. Oh, it looked like he got leg tackled there. It goes down at midfield.
That's really unlucky actually. They ran a little lead play there. The fullback kicked out the defensive end. It's a great running lane inside. It was just a good bit of put your body on the line there from the Colchester Gladiators to make that tackle.
It's going to be one of the most rewarding things for offensive linemen and fullbacks in particular when your running back is converting like this. When you're putting the effort in, and he's 8, 9, 10 yards down the field.
And it's amazing the difference it makes. If you've got a guy that's willing to just go out and run between the tackles and, you know, really power that ball home, it boosts everyone else to work harder.
Second down coming up. Gavin Barr takes the handoff again. He is earning his keep with those Gateshead Senators this half. Yeah, they get him down eventually.
Looks like one of the Colchester Gladiators players has injured himself making an overzealous late tackle there, but he's up and about, that's fine. But yeah, Gavin Barr there, they fake jet sweep left, and then they put Gavin Barr right in the middle. And like I say, when you've got guys in your team that are willing to put themselves on the line like that, it's amazing how that impacts on the guys around them. You know, you as an offensive lineman think these guys are absolutely, you know, working their tails off. I've got to raise my game to make sure that the holes are there for them. So it's an infectious business, and that's why it's such a team sport, you know, why I think all of us love it so much.
So another less than a yard to go again.
So 3rd and 1 coming up for the Senators. Fraser with a little pitch to Gavin Barr. He falls close to first down yardage. That's going to be close. Got a couple of tweets coming, guys. Got one from Gareth Thomas. Says, loving the commentary. Give the Bristol Aztecs a shout out. We'll do that.
Got a lot of love for the Bristol Aztecs, absolutely.
Leah Sweeney says, my guy number 48 for the Senators is looking good. Let's get it back, Senators. So that is Paul Richardson, number 48.
Yeah, he's a handsome guy. He's one of those guys who's obviously visited the EP Sports or the Football America stand and bought all the equipment. He's got the lower back plate and the cowboy collar. He literally couldn't be wearing any more equipment on the field if he tried. But he's got to keep himself looking good for his lady, you know, so he's got to protect himself. But yeah, shout out to the Bristol Aztecs. We played them earlier this season, the quarter-final, on probably the worst surface ever played on. It's like an ice rink, and yeah, they're some lovely guys, and they work hard. They've got a lot going on in Bristol as well. You know, it's not just they've got the Aztecs, they've got the Apache, who are kind of their sister team there. The Apache were actually one of the teams that Colchester defeated in the playoffs on their way here.
Good uni team, haven't they?
They've got 2 good uni teams. They've got the Bullets and they've got the Barracuda, and then on top of that, and probably the thing that really sets them apart is they've got the Filton Pride college team who compete in the Dodge League, the European American High School League, and on top of that, those guys have introduced a community league. So they've got young people playing all over the city. So right now, it's without a doubt the vibrant city as far as British American football goes. So I've got a lot of love for the guys down there, guys like Pete Jones and Paul Dangerfield and Chris Powells, and even Ben Herod, who's doing a lot of work at the college.
1st and 10 for the Senators. Pitches to Barr again. Good defense
nice
this time. Gets back, just about back to the line of scrimmage. But a good defensive effort there from the Gladiators.
Well, you're absolutely right. But having football coverage from young kids and community all the way up through every level of the sport is fantastic, and it gives them a clear line of how they can progress with the sport. So they don't just have to play a couple of years and then try and find a team after that. They've got a clear line of how they can keep playing for years and years.
They do indeed. I believe it's what those in the trade call a development pathway. And I think all of us who are involved in running organisations rather than just clubs, you know, are looking to do the same thing. So
2nd down coming up for the Senators. It's handoff to Gavin Barr again. Trips but gets legs moving, still going. Good effort.
And I'll tell you something,
from Gavin
speaking
Barr.
of what you were saying there about American, American kids versus us, where they start playing the game much earlier, what you've just seen there from Gavin Barr is something you often don't see over in this country, but that's absolutely drilled into young players in the States is, when you're running with the ball, never stop your legs running.
Keep your feet moving.
Keep your feet moving. And we had a running back came over from Michigan a few years ago, and literally wasn't a big guy, but he was strong, and he never stopped running his feet, and unless they've got you securely wrapped, there's yards to be taken.
Big third down coming up. And the quarterback is off the field. Matt Kidd is in. Number 26, Lee Frazier, is off the field for this play. That's a direct snap to Matt Kidd.
Matt Kidd, the free safety as well, getting his hands dirty there on offense, and he's a guy with a lot of pedigree, played a long time, played for Great Britain as well along the way, and good player. I just had a tweet there from one of my friends, David Anderson, saying Senators running backs looking good, might need to bin Jamal Charles and add him. So unfortunately,
Fantasy football
yeah,
advice by Gridiron TV now.
Unfortunately, if those of you who do play fantasy football, neither the Senators or the Colchester Gladiators will be appearing on your thing anytime soon, but it's some good work, and a nice to hear from you all out there. Just keep those tweets coming in.
Fourth down play coming up. 4th and about 3 for the Senators. They trail by 7 here in the third quarter, and they're going for it. Lee Frazier keeps the ball himself.
And
good movement up front. Good.
Frazier, that's outstanding work from the offensive line.
Good work from the offensive line.
He just plows right over the top. That's outstanding. A shout out there to Amy Coster, says, "Come on Gladiators, cheering my man on and the rest of the team." She doesn't say who her man is though, so Amy Coster, let us know which of the Colchester Gladiators players is your man.
So we got a guy down, injured, slow to get up there.
When it's close like this, they're brought out for the measure.
That was outstanding though. Again, we've talked about how the offensive lines very seldom get the appreciation they deserve, but right there, the push on that pile was phenomenal. It wasn't even like he was scraping and just short of that first down. I mean, he landed a good yard over.
Just followed the big guys up front, didn't he? Yeah, great push.
Which makes me wonder why we're having a measure, and if those change are in fact 6.5 yards long like they look. I should hope not.
Just wait for defensive lineman to get up.
Yeah.
Sure he's all right.
A little bit slow to get up, but there he is. And nice to see both teams applauding. When you go out and play this game, you look to be laying people out left, right and centre, but you want everyone to get up and get off the field and get home safe at the end of the day. It's a physical game, and injuries do happen, but it's never nice to see. So, there you go. You heard it here first. Senators get the first down, which takes them inside the Colchester 34 line down to the 36. The 40-yard line, down to the 36. So one thing I do like is the sideline coaches from the Senators have got the matching caps, the long sleeve grey shirts,
good, yeah.
and
bright
the bright orange shorts. Which not only does it look good, it also means as a player your coats are very easy to find.
That's true.
I've got a bit of a thing about that. That and matching socks are my two things. Matt Kidd again, and that's a great tackle.
Perhaps run that play one too many times. Gladiators were all over that.
Yeah, and the defensive end gave the universal finger wag signal, which means no, no, no. Having none of that. Great tackle in the backfield for a loss, and that brings up 2nd and 15.
Yeah, 2nd and long coming up for Gateshead. They had the ball a lot in this third quarter, not managed to put any points on the board yet. They trailed 20-13. Big special teams error, of course, on their last drive. Cost them dear with Colchester punching it in for the touchdown. That's what separates these two teams right now. Direct snap to Gavin Barr. There's room upfield. He breaks tackles. He's running straight down the middle of the field. It's another strong run from Gavin Barr. That's going to bring up 3rd down. This will be much more manageable 3rd down now.
Yeah, that's great running by Gavin Barr.
I wouldn't let him walk to the sideline. He's walking off now. I'd make him stay in there. Stay here and you get the ball again.
He's come on, done his work. There you boys. You boys get the last 3 yards. I'll take a seat. Got my chips and pie to finish.
So 3rd down coming up. They're inside the 30-yard line. And again, crowded formation. Direct snap to Spencer Hind, and nothing doing there.
No dice.
Ball might have come loose there. That might be a fumble. Colchester say they got it.
on a
Spencer
second.
Hind was the ball carrier. Got to about the 30-yard line. Let's see if this ball did come loose or if he was down by contact. And it is a turnover. The fumble and the Gladiators take over. That's the second turnover of this third quarter.
That's what happens when you put Gavin Barr on the sideline. You're right enough, Neil. Should have kept him in there.
Put down your plate, Gavin, you're back on.
That's it. Gav, I'll finish those chips. You get back out there and get the work done. And I'll tell you something, if I was on the sideline, I would finish those chips. Because I'm just that kind of guy. I'm a team player.
You would or wouldn't?
I would.
Oh, nice.
I wouldn't leave him eat them himself. I'd say, Gav, I'll hold on to them.
Yeah, you don't want them to get cold.
He'd come back to a greasy plate, that'd be it.
Timeout, Gateshead. Just come out of the half.
So timeout called there. Scores currently, Gladiators leading 20 points to 13. If you've just joined us here on Gridiron TV, you've missed an incredible match so far. But we're closing in on the fourth quarter now, so we've got plenty still to come. As well as our second match today at 5:15 kickoff, we see a repeat of Britbowl from last year as the Blitz take on the Warriors. The London rivalry is back up and going once again.
One thing that's worth reporting is during the halftime break, Mike Klusky, who is working the mic in the stadium, played the worst mashup I've ever heard of Like a Virgin by Madonna and Baba O'Reilly. So if he plays that again, I will have to visit the booth and say, Mike, I appreciate you've done a lot for the sport, but I don't appreciate that song. Please change it.
It's fair enough, I think.
If you've got any song requests we can pass down to him, then
Yeah, if there's anything, any good mashups, Glee Style A, give us a shout, let us know. And keep those tweets coming in. It's at Gridiron_TV, at Gridiron_TV. Let us know where you're watching it, what you're doing, who you're supporting. Let us know if you're going out with one of the members of the Colchester Gladiators, who exactly that is, Amy Coster. We're still waiting to hear. I feel like the story's incomplete here.
So here we go then. Colchester take over following that turnover. And it is quarterback keeper Curtis Bork.
Controversial.
There's a flag on the play there.
One of the Gateshead stalwarts as well, getting in on the action there. Number 49 just dives in, and I think he just put a knee on the helmet there, which is never called for, especially after play.
Foul, late hit with the 49 defense. 50-yard penalty, automatic first down.
nor is it a particularly smart move.
No, especially when you've held them to a yard or two and then you give up that.
So that's the worst thing. If you've got a tough defence that's holding them on third down and holding them on fourth down, the last thing you want to do is just give up cheap yards for a first down.
I remember playing the Coventry Jets the first season they became a powerhouse. We held them to a 3-and-out in their first drive, then gave away a personal foul. They took it the length of the field and scored. And then they absolutely horsed us by about 50 points. I blame that personal foul on the whole loss.
So after that penalty, it's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Curtis Bork takes the snap. He rolls to his right. He's got time to throw. And the pass is incomplete. Pass intended for Anders Bengston. Falls incomplete.
That was unlucky. It was off the fingertips and away. You might need to visit Joe Black at EP Sports with some new gloves, possibly. Could be the tack, missing from them. Other vendors are available.
Going over to the field side,
Football America and EP Sports, both out downstairs, and both those guys do a great amount of work for the sport in this country. So big thanks to them.
2nd down following that commercial. Casey Campbell on the carry. Picks up 4 on the play.
I don't know about the rest of you, but we're certainly amusing ourselves up here in the commentary booth, that's for sure. That looked like about a 5-yard gain there. Casey Campbell getting some dirty work done, nice job. Feels like the tempo's dropped out of this game a little bit.
It has. It's always the worst bit when it dies in the third quarter. It just flattens out. Teams are used to each other. Everything, they're so well matched, nothing really happens.
That's
So 3rd down coming up for the Gladiators. Casey Campbell gets the carry, breaks to the outside. He's got some running room. Can he get all the way out? There is a flag on the play though. He gets down close to the 23-yard line. This could be in the region of holding, I think.
And on that occasion, again, like we talked about before, he actually did read his blocks. Nice job and a good stiff arm in the face. Number 21 will know all about that. So back it comes. Holding 67 offense. That was my old number, so it's not a call I've heard before. So quick question to you two. Who has the nicer game shirts and attire in general?
Fashion question. Huh?
Colchester Gladiators in their Banana Man outfits or the slightly more subdued.
So I'm
Gateshead
going Gateshead Senators because I did when I play. I had more clubs than Tiger Woods. I also spent 3 years with the Invicta Eagles. That was our kit.
There you
Green
go.
socks, white pants, green shirts. That works for me. Curtis Bork, hands off.
Hands off back inside.
Casey Campbell's got some running room. Big hit and the ball comes loose. There's a fumble near midfield. Let's see who's come up with the ball.
So we've got an
And it's
injury
fourth
down the line
down.
of scrimmage as
Colchester
well.
recover the
That
football.
was a great hit there on Casey Campbell, and he did fumble the ball, but unfortunately the defender who forced the fumble wasn't really kind of sharp enough. He just sort of bounced off and ran away, and was probably about to do some kind of celebration when he should have been looking to pick the ball up. But,
So do the Senators win the uniform? You didn't give
I
your
agree.
vote?
My vote is for the Senators. Yeah.
Okay.
I think also one of the
Any
things.
reason? Just like
well,
green?
I'll tell you why. They've got white game pants, and game pants. If you have coloured game pants like the Gladiators, you end up all faded. So like number 26 is, they're like beige, Then you've got some of the bright yellow ones. 79s are washed out. He's played for a few years. Either that or they were gold when they started, So I think for a longevity point of view.
Certainly, Gateshead almost a little bit camouflaged up here, but it's the white pants that make them stand out. And it's definitely the yellow and blue. Looks not too bad, but it's pretty vibrant to say the least.
Yeah, both teams well turned out though. It's good to see, especially for the finals. Making the effort to get those helmets and face cages sprayed and whatnot.
Here we go then. Punt coming up from midfield. Number 20, John Thompson, is back to receive. Good snap.
Very good snap.
Kicks away.
That's
And
gonna be
Thompson's
nice
going to
weight
leave
inside.
that alone. Takes a bit of a bounce in the Senators'
About the
favour.
13
Goes
yard
out
line,
at
they'll be spotted
13. They'll take over from there. They trail by 7. It's 20-13.
Ball boy on the far side there, one of the Bafra volunteers who is Liam.
So still plenty of time to get your votes in for your MVP of today. We've got a few standout candidates already, but we want to hear your thoughts on it, either through Facebook or through Twitter. So Facebook, obviously Gridiron TV, Twitter is @Gridiron_TV.
Rob Cartwright there giving us a shout out, saying he's watching whilst preparing for tomorrow's training with the Renegades, training for Explosion. So that'll be is it the Red Renegades?
NTU Renegades.
NTU
Yeah,
Renegades.
I'll be at that Explosion event.
So they're
hosting
going to
that.
be playing
Should be great.
Explosion, which is the opening game of the Birmingham Lions season every year.
Gavin Barr on the carry, gets out to the 15, dragged down from behind. That's always a great event, Explosion. Yeah, I think the Lions do a great job there. There's always a good crowd, a good atmosphere, and tremendous fireworks. At the end of the day, we all love a fireworks display. We get a great fireworks display.
And of course, this year they'll be defending their title because the Birmingham Lions university team, led by head coach Wayne Hill, were crowned national champions in this very stadium earlier this year.
Dramatic game that was. Yeah, came down right down to the end. So that's the end of the third quarter, and it's Colchester who lead this game 20-13.
No rest for Gavin Barr either. He's 138 yards today so far.
That's a hell of an effort. Nice job.
So the snap to Fraser. Gavin Barr takes the ball around the end, cuts back up, bounces off one of his own men, and he's close to first down yardage.
One thing we didn't mention there, talking about NTU, talking about uniforms earlier, of course NTU with the bright pink and white.
Yeah, they do.
Never miss them on the field.
That's it, and it's nice to see teams that make a bit of an effort in their appearance. I tell you, one of the iconic looks in British American football was the Loughborough Aces, but of course the Loughborough Sports Association took the Aces name away from them and changed them from their crimson and gold into a purple, pink and white effort, which doesn't work so well.
Okay. So that was a first down run by Gavin Barr. They're out to the 24-yard line. They trail by 7. We're in the fourth quarter of this national final. Lee Fraser takes the snap. Hands off on the end around. That's Matt Kidd on the carry. Not much doing there.
A few more shout-outs there as well. We've got Amy Coster's advisors. That's Nathy B, 1992's our man. Don't know don't know who Nathy B is. Don't know which one he is. We'll find that out for you. A shout-out to Ethan Murphy from the Senators junior team who's watching the match as well. And of course, my good friend Brian Smallworth, all the way down there in Cornwall, and he's somebody else that's
One of my old coaches, he was.
Was he?
Old coach. There's another team. When I played for the Medway Mustangs, I didn't just skip teams every year, but I did get around a bit.
You're like Sean Hopkins. Those guys, down in Cornwall, they're doing a lot of hard work.
A lot of great work, Coach Smallworth.
Definitely.
Direct snap to Fraser. He hands off to Gavin Barr. Again, trying to find his way gets out close to the 30-yard line, and Barr remains the focal point of this Gateshead attack in this national final.
Definitely. Scott Crichton cheering on our brown bear, Mr. Addison, number 43 from Gateshead, all the way up in Newcastle. Come on, mate, from all at Monarch Court. So shout out there from Scott Crichton to number 43 for the Gateshead Senators.
So third down coming up, and at some point you feel the Senators are going to have to go back to the air if they're going to move this ball quickly. And
They are. They're having success, picking up 4 or 5 yards of carry, but they've not got long now.
Yeah. Third down coming up then. Lee Fraser out of the pistol formation. Takes the snap. The handoff, it's to Spencer Hind. He's got some room up the middle. Breaking tackles. Good, strong running there.
It was.
From Spencer Hind.
Did a great job to break that first tackle there, arm on the shoulder, so nice work.
Yeah, the Gladiators are starting to get a feel for what they're doing, but they're still not able to stop it, and that's come down to the old linemen finishing their blocks and getting an extra 4 or 5 yards on the carry.
So it's exclusively on the ground at the moment for the Gateshead Senators, but they do have a first down. They're out now to their 37-yard line. Gavin Barr in the backfield alongside his quarterback Lee Fraser. Again, Fraser operating out that pistol formation. Short pitch is to Gavin Barr. He goes around the right side, gets some running room again, gets out across the 40-yard line before he's gang tackled by the Gladiators. Going to bring up second down.
Around 4 yards on first down.
Question coming in from Gareth Thomas, the quarterback of the Aztecs, to myself and Neil, and of course AP as well. Do we expect to see more passing in the Prem final? He says #hope so. I would think so.
I would
think
so
they've got
too.
they've both got
two good quarterbacks.
in Allen and Boyle, two very able quarterbacks, some outstanding receivers as well. Sims for the Warriors has had an absolutely unbelievable
for a
season.
number of years. Fraser takes the snap. There's a flag on the play. Yeah, Jeremy Sims has been around, professional game as well. And
He has indeed.
there are players there in that Premier Division final coming up that had NFL Europe still been around, they could have taken that national player route and then into the NFL. There's
Most
some real
definitely,
quality,
yeah.
and it's great to see that final with two British kids at quarterback who can really actually not just hand the ball off, they can air it out as well, so that'll be good to see.
And I was speaking to Paul Boyle, Fred's dad, Fred Boyle, the quarterback for the Blitz earlier on. He's here filming as always, and he puts in a pound of work for the Blitz, and he was just up giving me some chat earlier on, and I spent a lot of time with Fred and a few of the other Blitz guys out in Milan earlier this year. About a month ago we were out there for the European Championships and the GB team, and there's some fantastic talent. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I think we'll see an awful lot more passing tonight than we have today.
So second down and about 12 after that penalty. Fraser takes the snap, he's going to throw, he's looking downfield. Spencer Hind is the target, but the ball's overthrown, and Hind was covered anyway on the play.
Speaking of Jeremy Sims as well, who's been around an awful long time and is kind of an elder statesman of British American football, but who's a guy who keeps himself in unbelievable shape and is a hell of a player. I was chatting to some of the Blitz guys out in Europe, and they were saying that before their game in the regular season against the Warriors, he was over at their sideline giving it the big chat, telling them that their daddy was back and all this stuff, giving it big licks, and they were all like whatever. And then he, as they described it, he torched us for 3 touchdowns, and it turned out he was. So
talk the talk, you got to walk the walk.
You're not wrong.
Third and long coming up then, and Fraser is going to pass again. He hits Gavin Barr. Nice play out of the backfield. That's good for first down yardage. Ball comes loose and falls out of bounds. Good break there for the Senators. Barr on the catch, fumbles out of bounds. So it should be a first down.
Well, we have a flag down at the line of
in the
scrimmage here, so
backfield.
let's see what they are. But again, like you said, a beautifully weighted pass there over to Barr. Unfortunate that ball bounced out of bounds.
And I think that's a pretty pessimistic view from the centre there, who's taking a long walk back, thinking it's on them.
Yeah, he knows what's coming.
So I think he knows it's going to be a call against him. And that's the first mistake we've seen from Gavin Barr there, a little fumble at the end, but the ball got popped out, but lucky for them it ran out of bounds, otherwise they could feasibly decline this, and if Colchester had recovered, they could have taken the ball. But
Holding. 40 offense. Then third down.
Still third down, but
So that holding penalty pushes the Senators back. Had a couple of costly penalties on this drive. Special teams mistake to the touchdown. It's not been what they would have expected, having played really well in that second quarter. Now they find themselves in the fourth quarter, trailing by 7.
still a lot of football to be played yet, but the challenge that both teams have is, because they haven't been airing the ball out much, when you keep the ball on the ground, you burn the clock out quick, because it doesn't stop the clock when there's an incomplete pass. So
The
it makes
Senators
it
don't have
challenging.
their passing target now with Darren Mould getting hurt. He was the guy, if they were throwing the ball, that was
It
who
was
they
to
were
him,
trying to
yeah.
hit.
It was to him, so I think that's why you see the little dump off there out of the backfield to Gavin Barr
Get it in
again.
his hands however you can, yeah. So, third and very long coming up for the Senators. Lee Fraser takes the snap out of the shotgun, fires to the right sideline. It is complete to Gavin Barr, but he's only out just across the 30-yard line. That's going to bring up 4th down and long.
4th down and long, and they'll be punting from, they'll be snapping the ball from their own 31-yard line. So this is going to need a fair shoe in it, especially with the wind against them.
Well, we've got a question here from Craig Black to all three of us, in fact. He says, now that the senior season is ending, what are you guys going to miss the most about it? And what are you looking forward to most with the Uni League season?
I do, well, I'll just say on the University League, I do love doing the Explosion. I think, as I said earlier, it's a great event, it's a great university, and it's always a good night. So for me, that's the next thing on the agenda, you know. So there's the punt, no one back to receive.
Again, that pooch punt, so nobody deep. Staying well away from it.
So what are you guys going to miss?
Well, I'll miss the senior season, but I think having been involved in it heavily, the length of the season this year has been ridiculous, and it's run on a full month beyond where it does previously, and that's probably a full month beyond where it should do. So, I think as much as I'll miss it, I'm glad that it's finally come to an end. But in terms of what I'm looking for, well, Craig Black himself playing for Stirling, they're one of the teams that will be playing in this season, and Stirling had a fantastic year last year, narrowly losing out in the quarterfinals to Birmingham with the last second touchdown. So very much looking to see what they do, how they've built from that, because I know they've brought in some studs from the States and beyond, and their recruitment is just global these days. So they'll be a team I'll be watching, and also how the Birmingham Lions do as well.
So here's first down, snap to Curtis Bourke. Casey Campbell gets the carry. You expect a healthy dose of Casey Campbell for the remainder of this quarter with Colchester protecting that lead.
Yeah, I would think so. I think they're just going to look to eke out 3-4 yards of carry, try and keep the chains moving, the clock ticking over. So yeah, another strong run inside.
And they're not waiting around here.
But I think another team as well is Hertfordshire Hurricanes, because whenever the Hurricanes beat the Lions in the final, the Lions have got to regroup and come back stronger, and I think it'll work the same way for the Hurricanes.
Curtis Bourke with the throw. That's a dangerous looking pass into the right flat. They're chasing that, but it is incomplete. Pass intended for Casey Campbell, so they're not playing it close to the best with a 7-point lead in the fourth quarter. That one there was taking a chance for sure.
So we're going to go for it.
Yeah, they went for the little screen pass, but the defender read it really well, and he was right there. And to be honest, if he'd been a footstep ahead, you could have intercepted that. And the danger with those passes is, if you pick that ball up there, make the grab on the 30-yard line, there's nobody between you and the end zone.
Actually, it's a high-risk throw, absolutely. But the thing I'm going to miss the most about the senior season, you are right in saying that it went on a long time, and it puts a lot of pressure on the guys and also staff and organisations to actually fit all those games in. But I think this year has been really good, actually. We've had a lot of great matchups, really competitive matchups. The thing I'm not looking forward to about uni season, from a player's perspective, it's the snow. Playing in those snowy games in the winter, trying to trudge through a foot of snow, it's not fun.
You guys were in attendance for that Stirling Birmingham game, which was just ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Third down and long coming up then for the Gladiators. They lead by 7. Curtis Bourke will take the snap. Hands to Casey Campbell. Campbell's got running room straight up the gut and he's away. This is a foot race to the end zone and Casey Campbell will not be caught. He's in for the touchdown. Does that put the icing on the cake for the Colchester Gladiators in this national final?
That's a great job and a great blocking inside, and once he gets in, that's the first time we've really seen him in the open field getting a chance to kind of turn on the jets, and a good job, nobody got near him. So
the great cut early on, and it was just open from there, and that's all about speed.
Nice job. And he's somebody that we said started off the game well, then disappeared in the second half, in the second quarter, so he was a bit anonymous, but what a way to come back.
Just laying dormant for a while until they ignored him and then he bite back.
So Casey Campbell with the big touchdown run, Nathan Brown on to try and attempt the extra point. The snap is down and good, but it's blocked. And that kick is blocked, but after that, touchdown in the fourth quarter. It's Colchester who lead 26-13 in this national final.
Close stuff. A few more tweets coming in now. Adam Pearson saying, keep strong, lads. A few of my old bleed teammates playing today. Almost there. XL's number 51. And Patrick Plone's also watching from Cornwall, saying it's a long way to travel, unfortunately, but he's training with the Plymouth Blitz tomorrow. So good luck with that, and good luck with your uni season down there. Then Tony Arthur-Smith, and he's a guy that's been around the game a long time. Tony Arthur-Smith's the offensive coordinator for the University Great Britain team. He's asking what are the keys to the Premier Final for each team and what are we expecting. Well, we'll obviously talk a little bit more about that near the time, but I think that's a great question from Tony, and we'll make sure we come back to that one.
I think the biggest thing on that is for the Blitz, the last couple that I've seen and been able to host and sort of commentate on, the Blitz looked like the stage wasn't too big for them, and the Warriors are talented, but they found themselves in such a hole in that final last year, they just couldn't come back. It was like they were shell-shocked early on. And
they beat them twice in the regular season last year and then lost in the final. This year they played once and they beat them in the regular season, but can they do it in the final? And I think that's really what it's going to come down to, is it's been able to just live up to that stage.
So Casey Campbell kicks off. He's the touchdown hero. Spencer Hind with the fumble, picks it up, gets hit in the face for his troubles and gets out across the 35-yard line. There's the flag. I think that might be for some kind of hit to the face. But Casey Campbell, giving him the one where he crossed the line. That's 3 touchdowns for him today.
That's a hell of a throw there from the sideline judge. He must have thrown that flag good 15 yards with a left hand as well. You know, it's good to see. Let's not forget the referees are athletes too. Blocking the back from the return team, so the ball's going to be marched back, and they're giving themselves a bit of a mountain to climb, and unfortunately for the Gateshead Senators, not very long to climb it.
We can see more and more errors creeping in. That first half was pretty clean for them, but they had holding penalty earlier. They've got this now, so it's exactly the opposite of what they need here. They need to be really consistent and just get a drive going, use bar and get down the field. Need to score as soon as possible.
So Colchester can see the finishing line. Gateshead need to open up their offense if they're going to come back in this game. They trail by 13 points in the fourth quarter. It's a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Lee Frazier sends a man in motion. It's Gavin Barr, and there's a whistle on the play. Can't believe you said with a straight face that the officials are athletes too as well. Nice try.
I was hoping somebody picked me up on that.
So that's the wrong direction for the Senators. If they're trying to get back into this game, they don't have a lot of time left.
They don't.
In the fourth quarter.
They absolutely do not. As John Bon Jovi tweeted again saying that could be the game, and I think given the time that's left and the fact that Gateshead are really struggling to re-establish that passing threat without Mould, I think he could have a very good point.
First and 15 for the Senators. Lee Frazier takes the snap, rolls to his right. Pass intended for Gavin Barr is broken up. Lucky it wasn't picked off. That would have been going for a touchdown the other way.
Very lucky indeed. That was, again, that's one of those situations where if that's picked off, it's an easy touchdown for the defence. Another one of the things we'll have to think about in the final tonight is the fact that the Blitz they haven't run roughshod over people the way they have in previous years. They've had quite a few players who are big personalities have left the team this year, and
some veteran players.
That's exactly it. And those are the guys that give you composure when the times are getting difficult.
Lee Frazier passes over the middle, and again that ball, AJ Crabb on the coverage. That ball was either going to be picked off or the receiver was going to get lit up for sure. So as Gateshead tried to open up this offense, they're not able to complete that many passes at the moment.
Just almost trying to force things now, just to try to make something happen.
Yeah, it's challenging when you find yourself in a 2-touchdown hole. You do have to kind of start pushing things a little bit, and I think Gavin Barr's a little slow bit to get his head around there as well, which can be a bit risky.
So the Colchester supporters making some noise. They sense this is the moment for their team to take full control of this final. Lee Frazier drops to pass. He's got it out into the receiver's hands, out in the flat, but it's going to be short of a first down. Good defense. Cy Cruz with the catch. Gets across the 30, and now it's decision time because that's fourth down.
He's taken a timeout as well, Gateshead. I think that's the first time out they've taken this one.
Jerry Anderson down there on the sideline talking to Steve Anderson.
Time out, Gateshead. The second time out of the half, 8:45 minutes in the quarter.
You almost sense for the push punts earlier on that they maybe go for some kind of fake here, try and convince Colchester they're going to punt. And
yeah. I think it's fair to say if Gateshead kick the ball away here, and assuming that Colchester recover it cleanly, then it's given Gateshead almost no chance to do anything about this. So it's really going to be a case of whether they can get the ball back off this, or like you say, run a fake of some kind. I mean, they don't have miles to go. It's 4th and 5, but obviously with the staff on top of that, it's a bit of a challenge for sure.
And from then on, it just comes down to the Colchester offense. When they do get the ball back, to just control the game, not get too excited about trying to throw down long passes, but just keep the ball on the ground if need be with Campbell, and just burn the clock for the win.
So 4th down coming up then for the Senators. They don't have much choice. They don't have a lot of choice this late in the 4th quarter. Down by 13 points, they will go for it.
Decision time, here we go. Offense still on the field.
Big play coming up. Gavin Barr, it looks like he's going to take the direct snap, and Colchester see that, and they call a timeout.
Trading off some timeouts.
Timeout Colchester. Timeout the house. 8.5 minutes.
Timeout to Colchester, like I say, it's a massive ball count here, both sides of the ball, and you get the feeling that this game is in the balance, and the balance is on this play.
Some of the coaches down on the Gladiators side are not too happy. I think somebody messed up on that play, which is why they maybe called timeout.
Well, so here's a big play then coming up. 4th down. And it's still Gavin Barr in the backfield. Looks like he's going to take the direct snap from the centre, trying to draw the Gladiators offside. He's definitely trying to work that defensive line, and doesn't work. Doesn't draw them
called.
over. Yep.
Nicely done. It looked like the Colchester Gladiators defensive tackle on the left hand side had lost his discipline and jumped, but he recovered quickly before the ball could be snapped, and so they didn't manage to draw them offside, because in that situation it's ideal. You get the 5 yards, you get the first down, you're done. But
but an interesting decision to use the final timeout there to try and draw them offside, when that surely will be very useful later on.
You'd have thought.
Timeout management and clock management is so underrated, and it's something that can cost you if you don't do it properly.
Very loud, very prominently, to try and drag the Colchester players offside. So the Colchester discipline.
So there's still a little bit of time left to get your MVP nominations coming in. We've had loads already, so thanks very much.
So here's a big play coming up then late in this 4th quarter. It's 4th down and about 4 yards to go. Lee Frazier out of the pistol. He's going to fire the ball. It's Gavin Barr who makes the catch, weaves his way and gets knocked down. I think he's got the first down. That's going to be first down yardage. We'll see on the spot. He's got a bad spot there. I thought he fell across that line. He should have had a better spot there. They put that ball right down on the yard line. That's on the 35.
Yeah, that's it's not the most generous spot I've ever seen. You're absolutely right. It looked like after the tackle, his shoulder was the first thing to hit the ground, and it was the other side of that 35-yard line. But this is one of my favourite and least favourite things about American football at the same time. You measure the distance between one arbitrary spot and another. Just pick a random area. And he comes up short.
And Gavin Barr comes up short on that catch. Again, maybe a questionable spot on the play, but he does come up short. That's a turnover, and with a 13-point lead in this 4th quarter, it's Colchester who've got the ball.
More than anything, that's a psychological killer for Gateshead. Spending the time out, spending so much effort on how to convert that, and they failed on it.
Difficult. I'll just take this opportunity to remind my 2 co-commentators and the rest of the Gridiron TV crew that if the score stays like this, my predictions will be 1 point off on each team. I said 28-14. I'm just going to throw that out there. I think that makes me closest. But,
okay. Well, I missed the start, but I said 26-13.
Never.
Yeah,
O-M, actual G. I think we have a winner. Or is it 26-13 at the moment?
It's currently 26-13
okay.
now.
I'd have been 2 off with Colchester, sure. But 4 scores to 2.
Not bad still.
The trophy heading their way, I'll do the Gateshead Senators. Still have a twist for us in this game. It's been a cracker. It's 26-13 to the Colchester Gladiators.
And one thing we haven't touched on, Martin, is the Roman tradition of both these teams.
Well, the Roman game is both these teams, yes.
Well, of course, there was a Roman settlement in Gateshead and South Shields and around that area.
Luckily for those of you who aren't at the stadium, you're not having to listen to the horrendous chat about Roman traditions with both the teams, the Senators and the Gladiators, which is appalling banter from Mike Klusky here in the stadium.
Anyone listening from the Chester Romans feels free to comment on that as well.
See what your thoughts are on that.
So, first down for the Gladiators. Curtis Bork hands off to Casey Campbell again. Another strong run as he gets down to the 30-yard line.
And that's taken a bit of a different shape to the first half, and even the earlier parts of this half. That wasn't an option play that time, just a straight handoff. And I guess when you're at this stage, the most important thing is ball security. And sometimes those read and pulls and the pitches are where you turn the ball over. So just get the ball in the hands of the running back, take the yard.
So the Gladiators look set to keep this ball on the ground and keep this clock moving. Second down coming up. Casey Campbell is in the backfield. He's been the star of the show for them this afternoon. 3 touchdowns. Curtis Bork calls out the signals. Pistol formation. He takes the snap. It is a handoff to Campbell. Again, a strong run up the middle. Gets across the 25-yard line. And he's injured on the play.
He looked like his left foot kind of got caught on the ground. He might have twisted awkwardly as it landed. And given the game he's had so far, I certainly hope he's not been picking up an injury, because that would be a real sad way for him to end a great day for running the football.
Absolutely. Well, whilst we've got a moment, we'll give a shout out to Stuart Potts Perkins, who wants to give a mention to the Sandwell Steelers, who are playing their first associate game against the Shropshire Revolution.
Yeah, the Sandwell Steelers, one of the teams that are just kind of new kids on the block, and it's Steve Hannington, who used to be involved with the Birmingham Bulls, and a good friend of mine. He's somebody that's been working really hard there. Some great young guys coming through as well by the sounds of things, so good luck to them, and I hope that's, I know there's always a lot of debate as to whether there are too many teams and things, but ultimately the more opportunities we create for young people to play the sport we love, the more great players we'll have in the future. So as long as the coaching's good, which with House in charge, I've absolutely no doubt it will be. All the best to those guys down there. Actually, at the House and I had a catch up at the BAFCA convention down just outside Stoke-on-Trent earlier this year, and we were just kind of talking through some of the things they've got going on, and it's really interesting to hear what they're doing. But more interesting than that, he brought a bottle of whiskey from this Welsh distillery called Penderyn,
and I know it
was tremendous. So in an hour, the two of us sat outside and drank the whole thing, and I was already about 10 pints deep, so you can imagine the Nick winning after that. And then Hal Mummy, one of the foremost offensive minds in the last 25 years of American football, one of the guys who sort of pioneered the air raid offense over in the States. He was there, and luckily he was in a similar sort of state, so our conversation was quite entertaining at the time. But that's a great thing. Anybody who's involved in the sport, especially coaches or guys who want to become coaches, every year as a BAFCA member, which if you sign up as a coach, your membership fee is part of that, they have this convention down, again the last few years has been down just outside Stoke, and they bring in guys from all over Europe, guys from all over the States, and it's just an opportunity to spend 2 days and summer Friday night as well with other coaches in the UK, with some great coaches from across the world, just learning about football, networking, picking up ideas both in terms of the X's and O's of the game, but also in terms of administering your club and dealing with some of the challenges that we all face. So a huge shout out to the BAFCA guys, because it's a lot of work to organise, and they really do a fantastic job with it.
That's a very long-winded way of saying that we get on it for 2 days.
Well, I mean,
as long as we learn something at the same time,
it's funny
okay.
You should mention that, because while we're learning, we get on it for 2 days. In fact, interestingly enough, the head coach of the Colchester Gladiators, Matt Roberts, and myself had I brought my darts down. I'm a keen darts player, and we split the series at 1-1, so we're still got to have the decider at some stage. He also hit his first 180 of his life on that weekend, so it was good.
So Casey Campbell is up. Sorry to digress from the tales of the coaches convention, but he's up and hobbling off to the far sideline. Of course, Sandwell Steelers, their honorary president is Bill Courtney, the coach from the Undefeated. Any of you saw that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great Oscar-winning documentary. So here we go then, 1st and 10, and Curtis Bork is in centre. He hands off up the middle, couple of yards on the play. Chris Palmer on the carry.
First down pick up there, short yardage game. Second,
Difficult times to be on the Gateshead sideline when you're 2 scores away, you haven't got the ball, time's ticking away, and it's just a matter of time before that final whistle goes. It's a pretty depressing feeling, I know it, unfortunately, all too well.
Bork takes the snap, hands off. Again, it's Chris Palmer. Gets close to the 20-yard line. Picks up about a yard on the play. It's going to bring up a 3rd down, and that clock continues to run in favour of the Gladiators.
Number 73 on the Gladiators offensive line. Bend your knees, come on now, it's all about leverage. Lowest man wins.
So we've seen a lot of Casey Campbell today. Hope he's doing better. We'll shortly announce our Gridiron TV MVP as well, so you'll find out who our favourite was in the next couple of plays, in fact.
Curtis Bork keeps it himself, goes around right end, and it opens up nicely for him. He gets down inside the 5 to the 2-yard line, so the quarterback keeps it himself, piles on that agony for these Gateshead Senators.
I wonder if, when I saw that, I was thinking to myself, it's not a great time to turn the ball over, although the game is all but done, but I wonder if that was a design keeper, because he did sort of fake the pitch, but yeah, it's looks like we're just about done, and I think in the distance we can see the London Blitz guys just getting out and starting to get themselves warmed up. Obviously a long time till their game's still a couple of hours, but they'll be looking to get the legs stretched after the coach journey up here.
So the Gladiators looking to put the exclamation point on this national final. Curtis Bork is going to take the snap, hands off to Chris Palmer, and he is gang tackled at the 5-yard line, so still some resistance defensively from the Senators on that play.
And Bork lucky to get out of that one. He was almost involved in that tackle as well. He just swarmed the running back and nearly took him with it.
Yeah, good tackling again, and it's it's the short yardage stuff that the defence have done for Gateshead. It's been fantastic. It's just disappointing they've given away some big plays.
2nd down and goal for the Gladiators. They try and put the finishing touches to this. It's pitched to Chris Palmer. There's a hole there. He breaks into the end zone, and that is a touchdown for the Gladiators. They have taken control of this national final here at Britbowl 27 in Leeds.
Nice job, and a great way to cap it off for the Gladiators. The game was all but done, but nice to just keep pushing and get that last score and get somebody new on the scoreboard as well. I've had a message there from Stevie McCusker asking, telling me to talk about Hearts University and their purple helmets, but they've...
a great player he was, Steve McCusker. Let's have a look at this extra point attempt. Nathan Brown on to tack on the extra point after Chris Palmer's touchdown run, and the kick is up and good. So it's now 33-13 to the Colchester Gladiators. They've held the Gateshead Senators without a single point in the second half of this Britbowl final.
Well, much of Colchester's success has come down to this guy. He's been fantastic on the ground. He's had a couple of long breaks, and today's Gridiron TV Nuola MVP is none other than Casey Campbell himself. So hope he's feeling better. Hope that cheers him up as well. Congratulations.
And well deserved. He had a quiet second quarter, but he's really come back in the second half and done some great stuff. And assuming they credit that touchdown when he crossed the plane, then 3 touchdowns on the day, you can't ask for much more from your running back. Kickoff field at the 25-yard line.
And good running room from that kid.
Nice job, all the way up to the 48.
Good return there, right up to halfway.
I've got my friend David Anderson asking you guys when you signed up the Scottish John Madden for the colour commentary. I like to think of myself more of a John Gruden, that level of knowledge. The officials today have had a cracking game as well. There's only been a few flags, but they've let it flow really nicely, which I think in finals is important because especially you get a lot of people here who are friends and family who maybe haven't seen these games before. They just come along to support for the big ones, and you know, they want to see a free-flowing game and let the guys do their work. So a big shout out to those guys downstairs in the black and white.
1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Lee Frazier takes the snap. He's looking to throw downfield. There's pressure up the middle and he goes down, sacked under a couple of bodies. And the Gladiators come up with a big defensive play on 1st down.
And remarkably, is that the first sack of the day?
That's I don't even know what to say, but that's probably the last drive of the game until we get a sack. It's I guess that's just a sign of the fact that they didn't pass a lot for the major part of the game, and there was a lot of rollout stuff from Colchester where sacks tend to be a lot less common. But yeah,
it's credit to both offensive lines as well, who we've talked about before.
It is indeed.
So 2nd and long. 2nd and long coming up for the Senators. Frazier sends Gavin Barr in motion. Hands off, Spencer Hind up the middle. Good running room, good strong run. Close to 1st down yardage, gets out across midfield and down to about the 42-yard line.
Great running right at the middle. Quite a lot of misdirection in the backfield, but once he gets the ball in hand, nice job. Nice job.
Certainly brings up a manageable 3rd down now.
It does, and without a game clock here, actually, that's one thing they're missing this year that they typically will have at these games. But without a game clock, it's hard to tell how long's left. But I think we must be fast approaching the 2-minute warning.
So 3rd down, there's a false start. Number 61.
Good to see Casey Campbell just hobbling back down towards his own sideline there. He's getting himself a drink of water. I think his injury looks like possibly his right knee or ankle. He's hobbling a little bit, but he's on his feet, and that's the main thing. There's plenty of time to nurse those wounds in the off-season and celebrate not only the likely victory for his team, but also his MVP award.
So after that penalty, it's 3rd down and 7 for the Gateshead Senators. Lee Frazier remains at quarterback. He takes the snap, looks to his left. He's got a man. It's Cy Cruz. Catches the ball, but not much doing there. Picks up about 2 or 3 on the play. That's going to bring up 4th down.
That's well wrapped up. Number 32 got across quickly. It looked like he was going to break away because he only had the ankles, but held on tight. Good job. Nicely done.
4th and 4 coming up. Is it too early to say this is the game? I don't know.
So 4th down and 4 yards to go. Gateshead Senators have to make something happen here. And it's Lee Frazier. Sends a man in motion. Drops the pass. He's got a man over the middle. It's batted down, picked up by the lineman. Big man with football alert, but he doesn't get the 1st down.
A chance for the left tackle there to just turn the game around. There was just plucked out of the air, dropped the shoulder, taking it 43 yards to the house.
John Lockhart with the catch. You've got to expect more of your left tackle when he's got the ball in his hands. You know?
Perfect time to do it when you're live across the world, though.
That's it. That could have been his chance. You know, he's somebody who's close to retirement, but just imagine that. You know, Nick Saban kicking back in his office thinking, who's this number 61 here? You know, let's give him a phone. Or Scotland's answer to Nick Saban, Rob Orr, you know, he could have done the same thing. Picked him up, got him a job in Dusk nightclub in Stirling, and then there you go.
Either way, he missed his chance.
He did.
Missed his chance.
Opportunity missed.
And with that, Colchester take over. They lead 33-13. There's a handoff. It's Chris Palmer. Strong run up the middle. Gets close to the 48-yard line. Bring up a 2nd down.
Chris Palmer, 20 with that carry on 1st down, picks up 3 yards.
Something tells me this is going to go back to the power game here. I think we're going to see a lot of beat-back dives.
So 2nd down. Chris Palmer still in the backfield. Casey Campbell on the sidelines after suffering that right knee injury. And we are, I'm going to guess, at the 2-minute warning.
I would think we're there or thereabout. Let's see what the white cap has to say. I think he just had to send a quick text there.
2-minute warning.
That's it.
Colchester have
So 2 minutes left in this final, and it's Colchester looking like they're going to run home. It's 33 points to 13, so barring a miracle, it's going to be the Gladiators holding the trophy tonight.
Colchester driving now, second down, second and 7, maybe 6.
So Bork takes the snap, he's going to keep it himself and gets close to first down yardage, gain of about 4 or 5 on the play. He's dragged down about a yard short of first down, but again keeps that clock moving with Colchester in the lead by 20 points here in the second half.
Thank you, Martin. Excellent job.
Colchester again in trips right. See what they got this time.
Bork takes the snap, hands off to Palmer, and Palmer moving the pile, keeps his legs moving and has first down yardage.
First down yardage for them on first down.
So important first down there so they can end the game.
But from here, first down, inside the 2 minute warning, they can probably kneel this out, and I suspect they will.
Yeah, it's celebration time on the Gladiators sideline. Players are hugging each other. They know they've finished this game off with a strong second half performance, and they are going to take this national final.
Congratulations once again to Casey Campbell, who is our Gridiron TV MVP from today, after an outstanding performance.
And what does the young man win for that prestigious award, AP?
Well, we'll see it in a moment. We'll try and catch up with him on the sidelines. It'll be one of our 5 custom jerseys, which I know you've been eager to get your hands on yourself.
Well, if they had them in my day, you know, I wouldn't be able to move for them.
And there's the Gatorade shower on the sidelines. You know you've won the game when you're getting soaked by your players.
Matt Roberts there. That was a nice, they did sort of 4 mini Gatorade showers using water bottles there.
Not that easy.
Still a couple more left.
I bet his game day notes are ruined now, he'll be raging. Likes to keep them tidy. And that's us.
And so there we are, that is the end of the national final here at Britbowl 27. The Colchester Gladiators scored 20 unanswered points in the second half, and they've beaten the Gateshead Senators 33 points to 13.
Don't feel disappointed for the Senators, who did a cracking job, and especially Gavin Barr, who I think was a real standout for us. And you know, I guess if we had a second place in the MVP, you know, second most valuable player, he'd have been somebody that was right up there. But all credit to the Gladiators. The second half they needed to come out and do something a bit extra, and they did it. You know, 20 unanswered points, and they just outlasted the Senators, I think, and picked up those first downs to keep the chains moving, keep the clock moving they needed to, and great job.
Indeed, and Senators really did themselves proud today, and especially on defence. They had a number of stands down at the goal line, a few turnovers as well, but it just came down to that second half. Like I said, Colchester remained calm. It looked like they were a bit flustered in the second quarter when they weren't getting the scores that they thought they were getting, and Gateshead were holding them back, but they stayed focused. Whatever the coaches said at half time sunk in, and in that fourth quarter it returned, especially 20 points ahead. It was a great performance all around from the Gladiators on offensive, defence, and even special teams.
It was indeed. And the special team score, I think, was one of those ones that was a bit of a momentum shift, because Gateshead had piled the points on. You know, they had that long drive, scored their touchdown, and then it just got flipped on them so quickly with that one play. And it's, you know, again, we talked about it at the time, but it just shows the importance of those little details like your special teams work. It really makes a difference. And yeah, disappointed for Gateshead, but great job for Colchester.
For the fantastic field surface today that these players have played on.
Indeed, anyone not familiar with football, we've got this handshake at the end, which is a great sign. And we mentioned it earlier that the sort of community spirit between football players in UK is always really strong, and it's a chance for guys who maybe played before or friends to sort of have a chat after the game right now and just congratulate each other and commiserate each other.
Definitely, and it's an opportunity, you know, to remember the fact that, as we said at half time, you know, you go out to you go out to kick the tar out of the guy in front of you, but at the end of the day we want everyone to get off the field safe and get home safe, and we respect the fact that those guys opposite us are, you know, are I guess man enough to go out there and put out all on the field, and it's just nice to recognise that. So disappointing for Gateshead, I've no doubt, but you know, they're shaking hands and they're doing the gentlemanly thing, which is always appreciated.
Yeah, and this comes full circle almost. At the beginning of the year they were facing difficulties, and originally were going to be in the Premiership at the start of the year, and then moved down to the National, but show that they're not a down and out team at all. They've fought well all year and taken it almost all the way back to the Premiership, just falling short at the last hurdle there. But
they have, and I know they had some challenges with DC, a new start-up team with a lot of fanfare around them, starting off on their doorstep. When I spoke about them with Coach Marshall this morning at the Senators, he sort of said, you know, a lot of those guys have gone back to DC because the coaches there are guys they work with at university and they want to go back for that. And he said that's what happens in the sport. People move, you know, people change, and all you can worry about is what's happening within your own organisation. And that goes out for all teams. You know, players move teams every season and every off season. And the reality is, all you can worry about is making sure that what you do at your team, in terms of the coaching, the game day offering, is as good as it can be.
And it's normally the coaches that keep you there or decide whether you stay or whether you go, more than anything else.
Absolutely.
A great coach can leave a really long-lasting memory of you throughout your career, whether you're with the same team for your whole career like myself, or if you've moved teams and gone onwards.
And that's it. And for those guys at Gateshead now at DC who were involved with the university programme with Ben Johnson at Newcastle University, you know, it's understandable that they want to go back and be a part of what he's building there. So.
As we can see there, we can actually hear the fans of both teams going crazy there. The Vuvuzelas getting a final blast before they go home.
Absolutely, and giving a big thank you to the Gateshead guys for the effort they put in, and everyone downstairs on their feet. And it's a lovely thing to see because it was a great game today, as we all predicted it would be. It's been a great game.
Yeah, so coming up in the next few minutes, we'll have the medal and trophy presentations for both teams. So we'll get to see them both there, and then we'll also have some interviews for you afterwards with some of the coaches and with our MVP. Hopefully he's somewhere in the middle of the pack there for the Gladiators getting cheered, but we'll hear a few words from just after we see the Gateshead Senators walk up for their medals themselves. So we see the referees going up first of all, and he said I do agree with you when you said the referees had a great match there. It was a very smooth flowing game. Only a couple of penalties were necessary, which is exactly what you want to see.
Absolutely, that's what you want as a spectator, you know, and obviously for all our guys at home, the last thing they want is to be watching a game that's been chewed up by the referees. So a lot of respect for those guys, and the referees in our country do take flack in the same way as referees in every sport do, but they do a cracking job, and it's a thankless task at times, and we appreciate all the work they put in, especially on finals day.
And here come the Senators.
Okay, thanks everybody. Thank you very much, Coach. Well done. Thank you.
The Gladiators applauding them in the background, very respectfully.
That was head coach of the Gateshead Senators, Gary Marshall, speaking. And the Senators going up now.
So don't forget we have our Premiership final coming up at 5:15 kickoff. So we'll be back around about 4:50, 4:45 with all of you for the Blitz versus Warriors rematch. How many times have they played each other recently?
They've played, this will be the third final in a row. Last season they played twice in the regular season. This season they played once. The season before I suspect they probably played twice, so that would be 8 games.
And it's certainly been the Blitz who've had the better of them over that series so
It's
far.
funny, the Blitz beat them initially in the regular season, and they've always beaten them in the finals. But the Warriors have done well in the regular season. It's whether they can, translate that into the results in the big day, because it's a different story, you know, when it's all on the line.
Just keep everything calm and our adjustments to we've made a few changes, so hopefully that'll work out.
Okay, cheers. You're a good sport. That's great, Bruce. Handle of the blitzes, man there.
Well, we see already fans from the Blitz and the Warriors starting to take their seats, but also getting involved in this game and cheering the guys on, clapping through. A good chance for Blitz and Warriors fans to come and see Senators and Gladiators, who they wouldn't normally see face to face.
And the Senators, who I would suspect, depending on a pending restructure, which you kind of are always aware of, it's there'll be a team they'll face in the regular season next year, I should suspect.
So, if you're in the mood for a new shoulder pads, bit of NFL apparel or whatever.
So this is a tough moment for them. They've received their medals, Gateshead, but they have to wait and watch Colchester come up and receive theirs and lift the trophy. But nonetheless, a successful year in their 25th year anniversary. So, although it wasn't exactly what they wanted, I would still call it a very successful year for them.
Absolutely. And I think that's it, you know, it doesn't all, the success and failure in a season doesn't all come down to who wins it all, you know. I mean, every team has their own goals and their own aspirations, and I think for Gateshead, just being able to complete a season this year, looking at where they were at the start of the year, was probably their goal. And to get to this final, you know, and there's been a lot of discussion as to whether, you know, when they drop down, whether they should be allowed to compete in the final in the division below. But, you know, I think at the end of the day, that, you know, those guys will just be delighted to have finished the season, and to have got this far is, you know, icing on the cake. So fair play to them. All the Gladiators fans downstairs making some noise.
Yeah, the Gladiators just about to come up and receive their medals now, so it's their time for glory.
Hey, let's get a word from the winning head coach, Mr. Matt Roberts. Matt, you're looking a bit wet there, my friend. What happened? They tipped a lot of water on me, and it's really, really cold. Oh, that's nice. Plus you're up north as well, you're not used to this cold weather, right? No, we got lost for about 45 minutes driving here. So there's about 8 roads that point to Leeds, so we can all of the ones that we didn't want, you know, so yeah, it's been a northern adventure, to put it that way. Good on you. Well, we did that on purpose. We actually moved the signs before you came up. Listen, the key to your win today. Give us a few keys on what brought the victory today, Matt. Special teams. Shadow it down.
Don't get away from that. They're a fantastic football team. They've got some great athletes. You know, they really put us on the game ball a couple of times. That's had a difference with special teams, and that's what got us through. So, okay, I'm not going to single out the offense really particularly much. But I've got to say, and to be fair to Dr. Gary Marshall said the same. You really hit every beat on offense today. I'll never have helped me all the time, so that's something we didn't do. You know, like I say, we were struggling a little bit. I wish we could pass the ball a bit better than we did, i.e. at all. You know, which would have been nice. But the other thing is, the guys are not better attacking. That's what I'm
You mentioned it earlier about the difference it makes psychologically, more so than just the scoreboard, to be able to break someone on a kickoff return or even a punt return or whatever it is, a fumble as well, and turnovers. Even touchbacks are very frustrating for kick returners if they're expected to take it all the way to the house themselves. So special teams is important. It's often overlooked, but when it's done right, then it makes a difference.
It absolutely does, and yeah, like you say, just nice that they recognise that and that they give those guys a shout out there, because they worked hard today. I think all the players worked hard on both sides of the ball. I think the game was probably closer in my mind than the scoreline suggests, but definitely the Colchester special teams and those those kick returns are a challenge to deal with for any offensive or special teams coordinator.
Well, the options feedback being there.
So it's waiting on the last few Gladiators. We've got Bork and Campbell at the back of the queue there, waiting to lift the trophy, along with Coach Roberts.
And Joe Black still up there handing the medals out. Hurry up, Colchester. While he's handing medals out, he's not selling anything. So I'm guessing by process of elimination that Dave Handel will be handing the medals out for the Britbowl final. And my co-commentator, Martin Richmond from the Doncaster Mustangs. What a great game.
That was fantastic. I think you've got to say you have to the Gladiators until the second half. They just, as I say, in commentary, they went to win it. They didn't sit back and defend anything. They just went out to take the trophy. So well done to them.
Absolutely. Yeah. And as the last of the Gladiators file up.
So still a few more Gladiators to come through. We're almost at the end of the queue here, but they did bring a big squad today, so we're going to go through them all.
It's a bigger squad than you realise when you're waiting for them all to get medals, isn't it?
Indeed, a handshake in the middle for 50, 60 people. Does take a while.
It does indeed, but it's nice for them to be able to savour their moment. For a lot of players, they'll go their whole career, play 15 years and never make it to a final. So for these guys, it's lovely that they have that opportunity to go up and just savour the moment.
Indeed, it's the kind of thing that we're really happy to be able to do on Gridiron TV, to bring it live so friends and family back at home can watch it. Of course, this will all be recorded and it'll go out as highlights as well, so if you've missed part of the stream today, or if you know there's people out there that couldn't make it today for whatever reason, tell them it will be there. It'll be on our YouTube channel, so if you go onto YouTube and search for Gridiron TV and you click the subscribe button, that means that as soon as we've released them and they're up there, you can watch them and you'll get a notification, and they'll be sitting right alongside the adult flag football national championship they were before. We'll have the junior and youth national finals as well, so it's really been a hectic season of post-season football for Gridiron TV, covering all these national championships all across the UK.
Most definitely, and I think Gridiron TV, it's fair to say, are starting to develop a bit of an archive of football. It's been a little while you guys have been doing what you do and really filling up those online archives with a lot of great games out there. So anyone who's interested in the sport in general, wants to take a look over some of the games you've covered, there's a lot in there to see.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be about 2 years in November, so we're closing in on our second birthday, which is quite scary to think. Looking back at the first episode and the first few we did, it's quite different from now, but we're glad that you guys still like us.
That's and you guys have changed the style of what you did. I mean, it was primarily focused on a sort of review and recap show, but now, having found your niche with the live stuff, I think it's got a great response from people, and I think it's great to see that people appreciate just how hard you guys work and all the the value that you bring to the game in the UK.
Oh, absolutely. We really appreciate the feedback that we get, and the fact that we can bring stuff live is what people want. People tune in to watch Neil there on the Sky Show every week and tune in to watch NFL. But here come the national champions, Colchester Gladiators. Great shot of the guys there, lifting the trophy.
And one final announcement for the day, and that is for the game's MVP. Now this was a very close road one, and there were two people really in the running for it. It was Curtis Burke really was one of the more collaborators. Now he was the runner-up
folks in the stadium agreeing with us on Gridiron TV. Casey Campbell also voted the MVP in the stadium.
And rightly so, he put in a great shift today.
And he played that feedback position with skill, guile, effort, and great running. Well done to you. Well done, Casey Campbell! And on his behalf, I'm sure he'll want to thank his offensive line.
So once again, we'd like to thank you all for tuning in today. We really hope you enjoyed it. Apologies for some issues earlier on, some server issues. So something a little bit out with our control, something we don't have access to here in the stadium or nearby, but we did work on it. Hopefully we got it fixed for you, but we're not finished yet. We've got another game come up for you at 5:15. It's the London Warriors London Blitz. It's the one we spoke about earlier. It's the one everyone's been waiting for, and it will be coming up very shortly.
And in the meantime, of course, let us know what your thoughts are about that game. Who are your predictions? Who are the players to watch? How do you think the game's going to go? Make sure and send in a tweet to @Gridiron_TV. Let us know you're watching, where you are in the world. We've got a lot of people from the UK and a few from the States so far, but I've no doubt there are people all over the world giving us some love out there. So make sure and tweet in and let us know what you're up to. But there we go, that ends another season for National Leagues football. The first time for a long time we've only had 2 tiers of football in this country, and there's been a lot of discussion, I guess, about whether we need to go back to a 3-tier system, and only time will tell with that. But I think a lot of changes are afoot with the national governing body in terms of just how the whole sport is run. So that could, with it as it tends to do in this country, bring in more changes. But we shall see. In the meantime, as AP says, we've got another big game coming up tonight, so just stick with us, and we will be speaking to you. We'll be back on live from about 5:15, and at that time you'll get a chance to hear a little bit more about the 2 teams and some of the preparations. In the meantime, I suppose an opportunity to look back at the season as it's been, and one of the things that I had the pleasure to be involved with over the last month or so was or really for the last 18 months, but over the last month in particular, was to go out and spend some time in Europe with the Great Britain Lions national team. And so the Great Britain Lions went through a bit of a dip after the 2010 Frankfurt tournament, where we finished bottom of the pile in the Group A Championship. So the way it works in Europe is, for each national team there's a Group A which has got 6 teams in it, the 6 top teams in Europe. Group B has got 6, and Group C's got the remainders underneath it. And the way it works, if you win Group A, you get promoted. Win Group B, you get promoted to Group A, and if you lose Group A, you get demoted to Group B, and then you get a chance to win it and go back up before they have another tournament. So in 2010 in Frankfurt, the national team lost quite heavily in 3 games against Finland, against Sweden, against France, and as a result, they were demoted to Group B. So it's been a while since we've been down in Group B, and the team was pretty dejected after that, and it was essentially shelved as a programme. But they resurrected it in around up and running, both with the junior and the senior teams, and they put new head coach in place, and the head coach of the senior team is Mike Callan, who you guys will see later on as he's the offensive coordinator for the London Blitz. And Mike Callan put together a staff of guys from all over the UK, people he'd worked with, people he hadn't worked with, but he knew of their work, and then they started the recruitment process, and that began about 18 months ago with open trials for a lot of people, and they were all over the country from the north of England all the way down to the very south. None in Scotland, but they had some up for the junior trials. But a lot of guys from Scotland did head down to places like Doncaster to try out, and eventually they got a squad and built on it and reflected on it throughout the year. And the culmination of it all was really not the culmination, but just before that, we had a 2-day camp down in Crystal Palace in May, and it was the first time they had the whole team together overnight, and the guys really gelled at that point, really bonded. And then we went away to Milan at the end of August for a weekend, for about 10 days through the first week of September, and spent some time over there in the Group B Championships. And the plan was all along that they would go out and they seek to regain that position in Group A by winning 3 games. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that and how that tournament went, and you'll see some of the guys who took part in it, because a lot of them play for the Blitz. But in the meantime, I believe we have my man AP.
We're joined here live on the sideline by Matt Roberts, head coach. Coach, congratulations, a really great game to watch. How did it go for you?
Nervy. I was. It's hard. We've done a lot of work. Scouted them off film and stuff like that, and it's very difficult to try to get a real handle on how good people are when they're playing teams you've not played before and stuff like that. So to an extent, they were better on defence than we thought they'd be. Certainly in the first half, we'd only scored 1 on offence. We were trying to figure out exactly what they were doing because scheme-wise, we were happy with where we were putting them. They just seemed to be beating us to the punch. Certainly in the box, everything drawn up should be working. But we'd have 6 yards, 7 yards. We'd move the ball. Then all of a sudden, we'd find ourselves in like 3rd and 1s, and then we couldn't convert them, and that got a little bit frustrating, to say the least. But. We did it in the end. Hopefully our fitness showed. I don't know, it's hard to look back, as an impartial. But, we try to keep the tempo up. We try to keep pushing it a little bit. And, like I say, second half was all us, really, which was encouraging.
Absolutely. Something I heard you say earlier and something that we were discussing during the broadcast is that the special teams really stood out as that third aspect of the game is what really made the difference, we think.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, I've been beating the special teams drum for years, and it amazes me. I'm not saying this applies to them, but the number of teams I talk to that don't put a focus on it, and that's what won us the game. And there's so many games won and lost by less than sort of 2-3 points. And like I say, today I think they had 2 bad punts that went over their punter's head. We obviously had the kick return. And that's really the difference in those close games. There, the momentum changes, and that's what really won it for us. I think anyway.
Absolutely. So the team's just heading over now for Team 4. I'll let you go and join them. But congratulations again,
Thanks
Coach.
very much, guys. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
So we're live here back on the sidelines. Congratulations, Casey. You were voted MVP, and you had a terrific performance. Really. How did today's game go for you?
Slow start. I felt I was struggling in the first half. Wasn't really getting my head in the game. I don't know if the occasion got the better of me. But we've got strong players around me, and a great team. They'll keep us in the game until I sort of pulled my finger out and started doing something. So second half was much better. We read the game a lot better and started to get free to make some plays. So it's good.
There were times in the game when it felt like the momentum really shifted towards Gateshead, and they seemed to be trying to control you. What kind of things were being said on the sideline and at half-time as well to get you guys focused and to get back on track?
I think our sideline was a little bit flat, but I don't know if it was people overcompensating, trying to keep their sort of excitement levels down a little bit. This same game, different day, and that was a lot of what was being said around. We've played a long season this year with the international break, and it was just keep doing what we're doing. We arrived here undefeated. There was nothing. We weren't seeing anything that we hadn't seen before, and they're a strong team, but we felt we could, as long as we stayed in touch, we'd get the points to finish it.
There's a big difference from some of the other games you've had where you've been winning by sort of 50, 60 points on the board, but nonetheless you still managed to maintain focus, and also you had the special teams aspect as well, where that really stood out for the team.
Yeah, special teams, certainly this game and our last game, the Southern final against Solent Thrashers, special teams have been a big aspect of the game for us. We practice it every practice, same as we practice our offence and our D, and the special teams guys made some plays for us, and they can be real momentum shifters. For example, the kickoff return immediately after Gateshead scoring really, sort of stopped them from getting on top a little bit and taking over. It's good stuff.
Well, I can hear your team cheering in the background, getting myself away, so I won't keep you any longer, but congratulations, you were voted our Gridiron TV Neola MVP, so I have a little gift for you here, so congratulations there.
I appreciate that. Cheers.
Okay,
Congratulations. Cheers. Thank you.
So there we have it, MVP telling us how the game went as well as the head coach, and really a fantastic performance overall from Colchester to maintain their focus and come away 33 points to 13 victors against the Gateshead Senators, who themselves have had a really terrific path going through the playoffs. So coming up next here on Gridiron TV at 5:15 kickoff, we have the Premiership final, and it's the London Blitz facing off against the London Warriors. So we can already see some of the coaches coming in and out here for both teams. We've seen the players going through to warm-ups in the back pitches there as well. So the tension and the hype is really building here at the John Charles Centre for Sport in Leeds. We're looking forward to another terrific game of football here at the Bath of Britbowl 27. So stay tuned to Gridiron TV. We'll be bringing you even more football coverage today.